The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
What?
let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers,
You pig!
damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Sport!
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this feel-good Good Friday, March 29th, 2024. This sports program starts now.
Sports!
Are happening, and to be completely transparent, we have no idea why every other show is seemingly so hypnotized by the fact that Draymond Green acted like an asshole on a basketball court 2 nights ago whenever he was yelling at a ref, got 2 texts in the first 4 minutes and ejected from the game. It is a massive story, I guess. We've been watching a lot of people talk about it. For us on this Feel Good Friday, we got to chit-chat about everything else happening around the sports world. Like, for instance, the Sweet 16 started last night, and we got some football schools.
That's right.
Football schools running wild, brother, into the Elite Eight. We got magic happening today as Kurt Warner will join us in about 15 minutes.
Hell
Steve
yeah.
Smith Sr. will join us in 2 hours. We got Dan Orlovsky joining us in about an hour and a half, and there's a lot of things to talk about as we head into a weekend that's going to be better than any weekend in the history of any weekend that we've ever had.
Boom.
We're also going to have an Ask the Program segment where we put out a tweet earlier this morning on X saying, hey, you got any questions for me and the boys? Go ahead and send them on in. It ended up being the number 8 trend in about 25 minutes, so we appreciate everybody.
Thank you, Internet.
If your question makes it on, we'll send you some merch. We'll send you a shirt. We can't thank you enough for participating and allowing us to do this for a living. Huge day here because we got the Talks the Table at Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt. Ty, you went to Catholic school growing up.
Yes, I did.
Okay, you're the only person in my life on a day-to-day basis that will be able to answer these questions. Today is Good Friday.
Correct.
And it is Good Friday because this is the day Jesus died for our sins.
Bingo. You nailed it.
Okay, so whenever we say feel good, Good Friday,
Friday.
this is the day that the Italians, one half of the Hammer,
Dahn
Cowboys, Anthony DeGiulio, when the Italians killed Jesus.
Incorrect.
What's that?
Incorrect.
No, that's what wasn't it the Italians?
Yeah, technically Pontius Pilate. He didn't actually kill him, but he did
Bingo.
sentence him to die. So.
Bingo.
So he was the executioner.
Okay, so anyways, the Italians were involved, which I believe were called the Romans at the time.
Yeah.
But
They might
that
have
was-
hired the guy, but they didn't do the killing.
whatever the case, he died for our sins, so that's what everybody's looking for. That's why it's a good day instead of a bad day.
Bingo.
Shout
Yep.
out us then.
Absolutely.
Why'd they do it the way they did it, though, if it was a good thing? You know, like, that seems like a tough way to die, but for a good thing, I guess.
I agree. I think that was kind of just the normal, nomenclature back in the day because it wasn't just, Jesus. He was up there with 2 other guys, actually. Some people
they
don't
don't get a
know
lot
that,
of talk.
but a couple other.
I've never seen the other dudes. What do they get?
Dirtbags.
They
Yeah,
turn
I-
blood to wine?
No. These guys were like thieves, and they kind of just. And then one of the guys basically repented for his sins and got salvation before he died on the cross next to Jesus. He didn't rise from the dead though. That was Jesus on Easter Sunday.
Which is 2 days from now.
Correct.
So he's in cave for 2 days with rock in front of it.
Bingo.
And then he says, boom, I'm back, bitches. I told you. Everything I said about me was real.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Yeah, exactly. And then they said, "No, you're full of shit. That's not true." And he goes, "Oh, really? Stigmata. Boom. Look at the hands. Had the wounds from the nails in his palms of his hands and in his feet."
Bang. This the first time Easter's happened in March?
I don't think so, but it's typically April. It is. But I feel like Easter over the last several years has been getting earlier and earlier because, like, growing up, it always did. You kind of just
Well, it's
Easter
whenever
Bunny.
when we move the clocks back.
It could be.
Leap year.
It could
Yeah,
be. But it does. I think several times in the last few years it has been in March. It's kind of weird because March is St. Patrick's Day.
Well, happy Feel Good Good Friday to all those that practice. Obviously, we got a nice Easter setup this weekend. I am nowhere near religious, but you got to celebrate the Easter.
Oh, yeah.
You got a good opportunity to have Reese's.
Yep.
You
Fresh.
know? And thank everything that you have with your love, the people you love.
Of course.
So let's have a good one.
Hell yeah.
Thanks for clarifying that.
Yeah, you bet.
Thanks for clarifying. He was 33 years old when he died.
Yes.
So for 33 years, he was Jesus Christ.
Hell yeah.
And he was doing Jesus Christ stuff.
Yeah.
And then he finally just got fed up with it when he was 33 years old. Well, did we know why or who? Did he speak to the wrong person? Like he walked up and said, hey, let me tell you how you need to be doing this whole thing. And they're like, shut up. We need to kill this guy. How did we get 33 years? And then why was it at the 33rd year? Do you know?
I think part of it is just, you hear all the story of him turning the water into the wine and, getting
too powerful.
He's got he's got a loaf
So
of
somebody
bread.
was like, what's this hippie looking
Yeah,
going
exactly.
around?
We got to do something about this guy. He's got these 12 guys always following him too. What if that multiplies and then multiplies and then multiplies? Then he's going to turn into Alexander the Great. We got to do something about this guy.
Okay, so 33 years, they said that is enough.
Yeah.
They said. They don't have phones back then either.
No.
Or internet. So each town or village that he stops by, it's their first time experiencing it. So somebody had to go from one town to the next town and say, wait until you hear what this.
Like Paul Revere.
Yeah.
Yeah, bingo. Had to give a heads up
Just
to
like
the next
Paul.
village and be like, well, from what we heard is Paul Revere did not do that.
He did.
Listen, my children, and you shall hear of the midnight ride of Paul Revere.
Boom.
On the 18th of April in 75, which I think is not 2019 or 18,
No.
it's 17.
No. Right.
17, yeah.
Yeah, 75, I believe.
Oh, he took it.
Hardly a man is now alive. Who remembers this famous day and year? And then that is one if by land, two if by sea.
Boom.
And I on the opposite shore will be ready to ride and spread the alarm through every Middlesex village and farm.
Boom. Middlesex County, baby.
Yeah, but I heard it's all bullshit.
No, it's real. It's
Everything
real.
I feel like everything we potentially learned, there's a potential shred, but also not real. Revere didn't do it.
Paul was there and did it. There were two guys, though. Paul did not finish the
there's
story.
3 of them.
3 of them. There it is, sure.
Just like there was. See, I just learned that there was 3
Yeah.
up on a cross. I thought Jesus was the only one.
Nope.
Happy, feel good, Good Friday.
That's why
yeah.
things come in threes.
Good things.
Good things do come.
Sometimes.
too.
Well, bad things do as well, like
Yeah.
when people pass away.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the devil.
But we decided though that there's a lot going on with that right now. We decided nobody's dying anymore,
No.
Yeah. Nope.
right?
Yeah.
Didn't we make the proclamation going into the NFL season? Nobody was going to get hurt.
And
Yes.
no one did.
Yeah, we did. That was tough.
People got hurt. Some people got hurt 4 plays in.
I was gonna say.
First-
Yeah, a lot of people say that was
did he?
potentially our fault.
Did he?
Did he?
Did he what? Don't say that name.
Yeah.
Tony.
Now is not the time to say.
Sorry. Did that quarterback actually tear his Achilles?
Oh, okay, I thought you were saying did he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No more
'cause
saying.
you
Did
can't
he?
say did he.
No.
Because there's people out there that think he didn't.
Well, I mean, those people obviously don't know Dr. Neil Elatrosh. Okay, he's not an actor.
I
he's a
saw the
surgeon.
reverberation. He did.
Okay. Yeah, me too. We all saw it. Let's talk about some sports. Last night, Sweet 16.
Oh, yeah.
Now, there was a game that tipped off at like 10:19 or something like that. It was moving back. It was supposed to be 10:09. It was 10:14. Then I believe it moved to like 10:19. Didn't end until 12:45, but congrats, Illinois.
Yeah, huge.
Now, Gumpy, you stayed up to watch that entire thing. Illinois pretty dominant throughout the entirety, or at least winning throughout the entirety.
Yeah, Illinois from start to finish. Iowa State came back late in the second half. We're down about 3, but never could get ahead. Illinois had control the whole game.
And obviously, as soon as that game ends, you see that video of head coach
Brad Underwood.
Brad Underwood with the super soaker in
man.
the locker room. We're going to the Elite Eight. We're going to the Elite Eight. Everybody's getting shot with water. Or is it vodka?
I hope not.
We don't know.
No.
We don't know. We don't know if he's firing booze out of that super soaker, but we do appreciate any head coach that's willing to take his shirt off, embrace the moment, and let the boys know, hey, we worked hard for this. Now, the job's not done, but we should certainly celebrate a Sweet 16 dub. Now, as soon as that game ended and you saw him super soaking everybody, you want the bet immediately, Gump? Is that what you did?
No, we had Cougars, Texas hockey as well, and then Red Sox against Mariners ended around 1:30.
What's your problem? Like, so how
Red Sox.
There was a couple questions whenever we put out the tweet about hashtag Ask the Program. Some people ask, like, is Gumpy on meth? How does Gumpy
Good question.
know everything happening about everything? And he's also in here like 7 a.m. every single morning.
First one in the weight room every single morning.
So I think it's just like, what, the ship painter?
I've found that for me, 5 hours is my sweet spot.
Okay.
If I sleep for more than 5 hours, I am extremely tired.
Got it.
Like, if I get 5 to 6, that's perfect. Anything more, it's not good for me.
So 1:40, you fell asleep this morning.
Yeah, as soon as the Sox Mariners was over, I was out.
Baseball happened last night. Congrats to the Pirates getting a big win.
Yeah, extra.
Let's go back to the Sweet 16 because Alabama gets a massive win.
Huge.
Alabama, normally a football school. Obviously, we learned about their basketball team last year. They get a huge win over NC, who had Baycott's been there for like 10 years,
Yes,
right?
yes.
He has an exit. Thank you for what you did for basketball over there. And Coach Hubert,
Yeah, Hubert Davis.
Hubert Davis, right? I mean, they're supposed to be a great squad. Obviously, a 1 seed. They get upset by Alabama. Clemson upsets Arizona. Now, there's some stats going around about this Arizona basketball team, and obviously, we don't follow college basketball unless it is March Madness. I guess this Arizona team has been knocked out at the same level, at the same stage, by teams that are seeded 4 or worse than them for like the last 5 trips into the tournament, or 4 trips into the tournament, or whatever it is. So you're talking about a fan base getting like upset and getting bummed out when they think they have. And I think I saw Matt Berry, Sports Center host, alumni of University of Arizona, I do believe. He said, Final Four talent, Sweet 16 exit, another Arizona March Madness. So that's tough because Arizona's a beautiful place, obviously, beautiful town. But congrats to the Clemson folks. I'm happy for them.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You know, because Clemson football is what it is the last couple of years after that run of dominance, but they have an incredible fan base down there. And now their basketball team has made to the Elite Eight for the first time in like 40 years or something like that. And the guy that you love on that squad, he's cooking, isn't he?
Yeah, Ian the Chef Shefflin, I believe is how you say his name. He is an absolute dog. He's one of those guys in March, kind of a little reminiscent of Loyola Chicago buddy with the mustache that came in and set the world on fire. I do forget his name, but he was spectacular, Ian the Chef Shefflin. He does it all. He's down low in the trenches, boards, and then all of a sudden you think, there's no way this guy has a mid-range game. There's no way this guy can shoot. He's a big, tall, little, large, fat, white guy. You know, there's a chance.
Little, large, and ain't what the fat.
Yeah, I didn't mean to, but I did.
Just for those that didn't watch the game, you want to give a proper description of why you are so zeked up about the chef being a good in the kitchen.
Bingo. And when he did take his first three-pointer, I almost stood up out of my chair because I thought this guy's chucking bricks. He splashed it. I mean, he was unbelievable. And not to mention, he's got the little headband. And for me, the pizzazz that comes with a big white in March Madness with a little headband, just enough. Like, he doesn't have long hair per se, but he has headband hair. And when you have headband hair, it kind of does just add a little moxie to the March Madness. And Clemson obviously rolling. Saw a lot of people say Clemson may be a basketball school now.
Uh-oh.
Well, Dabo's not certainly going to let that just go quietly into the night with their Clemson football team. And, you know, you're always just 1 year away from getting back into the relevance conversation, one recruiting class away from getting back in there. But with what Florida State has been cooking.
Exactly.
I mean, Norvell's down there in the kitchen as well. But, yeah, the chef, saw him cooking.
Yes.
I enjoyed watching that team. And then, obviously, the story is – there's a team that is so dominant in college basketball right now, and we're not talking about South Carolina, the women's division, although
similar.
They are.
Yeah.
They just didn't win the Natty last year.
Right.
If South Carolina would have won the Natty last year, it would be the same conversation in men's as it is in women's. UConn wins the national championship last year, and now their stats coming out about all of the games that they played in the tournament and how much they've won by. Hembo put this tweet out, and basically it is every single game that they have played in the tournament the last 2 years, they've shot 40+% in every game.
Damn.
The other team has shot under 40% in every game. They're smacking the floor every single day. They win by 30-some points last night, okay? It was at 4, like right before half. It was close. It was like, wait a second, is this San Diego State team going to catch this UConn team on a bad night? Then they go into halftime, and Hurley says, I haven't changed my underwear, okay? 2 years.
Yeah. Yep.
You think we're going to lose San Diego State 5 even though they were in the Natty League? I don't think so.
Come on.
And they come out and just lock it down. And when you're watching him, it's very clear that he has a culture instilled. It's very clear that everybody enjoys being there. And I just like the thought of this guy who is, like Jim Harbaugh for the Michigan.
Yeah.
Just loyal. He's his own person.
Couple screws loose.
He is his own person. He's proud of it. He's comfortable and he's confident. And he has a team that loves him. They've been dominating everybody. Doesn't seem like there's going to be any slowdown. He actually said in a post-game press conference, we're not that great at close games. So we'll just try to make this thing a 30-pointer at any point. Actually had to cut his team off from scoring at the end.
Yeah.
Took let the shot clock run all the way down 2 different times at the end of the game. That's how far they are up. And let's go ahead and take a walk. Also kicked the guy off the floor who nailed a 3 late in the game. I mean, it's just like a beautiful story. But the thought of him recruiting guys so that he can keep this culture was a nice little, thought process for me. Because in football, you got 22 starters.
Yep.
Okay, and then a couple specialists. So recruiting 11 guys on offense to all be on the same page is going to be tough. And you're going to have older guys. You're going to have young guys. In basketball, you need 5 guys that buy into your culture. You need 5 that are going to be the starter. Now, obviously, you're going to have to use the bench. They have a deep bench and everything like that. But if you get 5 guys that are great at basketball to buy into what you're selling, like, hey, on the defensive side, We ain't giving up shit. We are not giving up any. Every single time we have the ball or we're on a court, we're giving 100. And that's what they are. It is full go, full effort, full everything the entire game. And I'm not saying everybody isn't like that, but whenever you have everybody working on a string at the same page, max effort, you can really do some dominant things like they're doing. So if you just get one class in there that kind of sets the tone for the next one and the next one, it's like UConn could potentially be like, we're trying to find UConn Husky players. We have a certain style of player. You're going to have to be a dog to play here for the Huskies. You're also going to have to be talented. So now it's like this Hurley guy, who I didn't know existed a few years ago. Now, obviously, his family's big in basketball. He played before. We learned all that, and everybody knew about him, obviously. But it's like now he has a culture almost instilled where it's like this thing is going to almost, I don't want to say start running itself, but there's a chance this UConn men's team now becomes what the UConn women's team was like 15 years ago. Good for them up there at UConn because their football team, isn't even in a conference.
Coaches quit.
That's like their basketball, their women's team was supposed to be what they hung their hat on every year. Now that's no longer the case. It's like, well, the men's team is about to do this. It's fun to watch them play.
And it's great to have UConn back because when UConn's good, it's always great. Like when you go back to the Emeka Okafor days and stuff like that and Napier and all those guys, it's incredible. But all those margins of victory, not only do you love watching them and they're great to watch and great to play, they are also 9-0 against the spread in their last two tournaments. So that's great for the gamblers as well. And I think there's 3 new starters, I believe, from last year's championship team. So it's not like they have the same team and they're running back with the same team. That goes to your culture point completely and what Hurley has done.
It's awesome to watch. They're all seemingly
dominant.
Yeah, and they know what they want, and they're going to go get it. Not supposed to be blowing everybody out.
No.
Especially in the big games. At some point, you're supposed to get nervous. At some point, the hoop's supposed to get a little bit smaller. The other team's supposed to have a hot day. It's like on both ends of the floor. They're fun to watch. I really do. Now, some of these games have been tough for me to watch. I'm going to be honest.
Sure.
Okay? Got a baby. Got a life. I turn on some of these games. I'm like, I don't care. But now that we're at the Elite Eight, Sweet 16, it's like, here we go. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a Hall of Famer. A man is a friend of the program. He's incredibly fit. I do believe he plays basketball like either every day or every single week. Can't wait to hear his thoughts on March Madness and the state of football as a whole. Ladies and gentlemen, friend of the program, NFL Network analyst, Kurt Warner. Kurt.
Hey, how we doing?
You look good, dude.
Wow.
I'm just rolling out of bed here. I'm on West Coast time, so just rolling out of bed, man.
Okay, it's 12:16 over here. I was going to judge you, but you're Kurt Warner. Okay, I would never do that. Never do that. The hair and beard right now look, hey, fantastic.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. I always have a little bit of something.
When did you turn completely gray? Because I got gray on the sides. I got gray in the beard. I'm hoping I go white. I hope it does. When did it happen for you?
Are you going to let it go that way? I mean, I notice I'm like one of the only few guys on TV that have any gray hair. I can't figure it out. Even it's crazy to me. But I have no idea. It's been a gradual process, but my wife likes it. So to me, it's like, all right, I'm just, you roll with it.
Hey, we know your wife too.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
Don't we?
There you go.
Yeah. Remember you made me watch that. What was that?
American Underdog.
You made me watch that Hallmark movie. That's the first movie that I've ever watched in my life where I was, except for Flipper. I think that Flipper was the what was the whale?
Free Willy.
Free Willy was that what I watched as a kid. I said I'm never doing that again. I was crying my eyes out at the end of that. That's not what I'm doing. I'm doing comedies, sports movies, wrestling, live football. That's all I'm doing for the rest of my life, and I stuck to that. Then I'm like, Kurt Warner movie's coming out. I can't wait to watch this football. I'm crying my eyes out, Kurt. You're an incredibly inspiring human being. Your wife is fantastic, and I will keep my hair going as white and gray as possible, just like you, because to all those people that don't do it, we know. We know. We definitely know. So I got a guy sitting next to me on the set every Sunday that we give him crap all the time. Like, we know, dude. Like, we know you're not fooling anybody. But he's trying. He's trying. How about some of that beard stuff they put in there where it just looks like you?
That's the time.
It's like purple.
Paint. It's like paint. Yeah.
Yeah, like your beard turns purple, and you got to apply that every single morning. Is that what you're doing? Anyways, I hope I look as good as you, Kurt. Let's move on here. I know you have a vested interest in this particular draft class because of familia. Have you looked at all the quarterbacks of this draft class, and how is this become? Is this like a new thing of yours, or like, how do you feel about your judgment of the quarterbacks going into the draft versus, like, all the draft experts? Is that why you're doing it, or are you just doing this for future research for guys whenever they make it into the league?
Here's the biggest thing, Pat, is I always say I'm glad I'm not in that business, the GM business, where I have to try to project how somebody is going to play at the next level, because that to me is what all of it is a projection. You know as well as I do, nobody is going to be able to stay who they are in college and be great at the NFL level. All of these guys are going to have to get better. All of these guys have things that they have to work on. So now you're just trying to juggle and go, okay, but who do we think gives us the best chance? Who do we think can become that Tom Brady who was, a decent college quarterback but became a great NFL quarterback? Who can project forward? And that's why, to me, I like to break these guys down in what I see at the college level. What I try to say, hey, these things could be transferable at the next level.
Okay.
But it's just, who's going to get better? Like, who's going to be great? Who's going to improve on all of their skills at the next level is really what it comes down to. But, I just think you have so many people that have so many different takes that, to me, I just break them down because I want to see what they did in college and see how that does translate, how they do move forward. But more importantly, just to show people, hey, this is the college tape. This is, to me, what the college tape says. But that doesn't guarantee anything, good or bad, at the next level.
I think a lot of ex-players all feel the same way you do, and that's because we, have sat in the locker room and seen a class of rookies come in, and 3 of them are supposed to change the trajectory of our entire team. These guys, 3 of these guys are supposed to do it. And then, these guys didn't even make the final cut. Like these guys didn't even make the roster. These guys were gone after 6 months. These guys couldn't figure out how to be pros. That's just the reality of rookies in the NFL because there's only so many spots on any team in the NFL to be gained. But whenever you're talking these first 5 picks, it's like, hey, this is going to change the program forever.
Yeah.
This is who's going to be able to get us to a Super Bowl. And you and I are both old. You a little bit more than me, but you're much more wiser than I. That's all that means. We talked to Poles the other day down at the annual league meetings, and he was like, Caleb Williams is the biggest NIL athlete of all time. All time. So he already has money, has already had to manage money, has already managed like family and friends knowing that he has money, knowing that he has. Is that a benefit, you think, or a bad, like I'm trying to figure, I think it's almost like a good thing that because all the bullshit when you get money is a lot. That's a lot if you've never had it before. So him having almost have that already passed, I think that's almost a benefit for these young guys.
I think it can definitely be a benefit. We've so many guys that have come into money for the first time when they make it to the NFL, and they're trying to figure it out. They're trying to understand who to trust. They're trying to figure out how to manage it with their family because their family hasn't had money before. And so that is always a challenge. But, even with all that stuff being said, we can talk about all these other things. Bottom line, again, is who's going to improve their game and be great.
Who loves ball?
Level.
Who loves ball?
Yeah.
That's really...
We've seen so many great college quarterbacks that didn't amount to much in the NFL because they're the same guy 5 years into the NFL as they were in college. And so that, to me, is the only thing that really matters. We use that word ceiling all the time, Pat. Like, hey, their ceiling is so high. We have no idea what anybody's ceiling is until they reach it. Like, we don't know how high it is until they show us that they can reach that high. But that's what we really need to know. I need to know how high these guys' ceiling is so I can see how far they can go and how much better they can become. And so all we're trying to do is check boxes of, he made a lot of money, so we'll be able to handle money. His teammates love him in college, so he'll be able to, people will love him in the locker room. At the end of the day, how do you work? How do you play? And all of that stuff is the most important thing when you get to the next level. And I'm not going to sit here and project it because A, it's not my job, and B, I think it's impossible to do. We have to just wait and see, but we got to make our best guess based on what we've seen 1, 2, 3 years of these guys' career.
Work ethic's the most important thing in any field. Trying to figure out if somebody has it or not. And just because they're great in college doesn't mean that they have a great work ethic. That might be just natural ability, like legit.
Yeah.
There's, especially with how the game is, with how open it is and everything like that. We're not just talking about quarterbacks. We're talking about every position. Some people on the field, you put them out there, they're the most athletic person on the field. They'll be able to do whatever the hell they want. Well, they had to have worked to get to that point. No, I'm not. No, some guys just roll out of bed like that. Some guys roll out of bed like that. What do you think they were saying about your ceiling whenever you were on that on that cornfield practice for the Barnstormers. What do you think there? This guy, he's good. He's a good line dancer. Seems to be a good teammate. Boys like hanging out with him. He can chuck corn better than anybody we got. Grocery store, not bad. I think that's probably why you feel the way you feel, huh? Because your own personal experience of what people thought of you and what you could be?
Well, yeah, I mean, because I felt my ceiling was higher than what other people felt it was. And that was, for me, it was like, I don't think they've seen me play enough. I don't think they understand what I'm capable of. I don't think they understand the mental side of it, which, again, is a whole nother side, Pat. I'm watching tape. I don't get a chance to sit in a room with these guys and ask them why.
Yeah.
I would want to be able to watch them make a play and go, okay, why did you throw it here? Why did you read this? Why did you make this decision? I don't get the opportunity to do that, which to me would help me go a lot further.
No, but you don't get sports media, Kurt.
Nope.
It's not about knowing it. It's just about feeling it.
Saying it.
And projecting it as a fact. What are you talking about?
Come on.
This is an opinions or facts thing.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. That's what we do, and that's what we have to base it on. And so at least these teams get that benefit of sitting in a room and vetting these guys, asking them the questions and talking to them about ball and seeing what they know. And like you said, seeing how much they love it. Like, still to this day, I love ball. Yeah. Like, I love sitting down with coaches for hours and, get lost in time and just talking about a single play. And, so there's just a part of it that you love and you desire. And I was around a lot of players that were good players that didn't love it. They did it because they could. Like you said, they roll out of bed and they could throw a football. They roll out of bed and they could run a 4.40. So they played the game and they took advantage of it, but they didn't love the game. They didn't want to be there every waking moment and want to be great at the nuances of it. And I do. I think that goes a long way, especially with these young guys that are going to get thrown in, asked to lead grown men right off the bat. That's going to go a long way to them being able to have that kind of success.
After watching your movie, you had to love football.
That
you had to. You had to love football to get to where you are. And I love the fact that you're still giving back to the game because the game was lucky to have you, Kurt. Legit. Now, I don't need to be crying my ass off over your damn story. You know what I mean? That doesn't need to happen, but you get it, Kurt.
You do need to cry more. I think you do need to cry more. You need to watch the movie more, touch with your emotions a little bit more. That would be a good thing. That would be a good thing.
It was so weird. I do cry now with my daughter. Yesterday, 2 days ago, I think it was 2 days ago, she's a little bit down the hallway from where I come home. She's crawling, she's moving a lot. She is very active, a lot of talk, a lot of noise. So I come home, she hears me, we're talking 4, boom, 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 coming down the hallway. And it was like, I started getting like, I'm like, oh my gosh, she knows me. This is good news. I pick her up and I don't know if she knows that she's saying it, but it's a sound. She goes like, da, 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 da. I started just like crying my eyes out. I'm like, oh, this is what it is. This is being an adult. This is being a dad. And I thought back to myself, when did I have this many tears in my life? Oh, Kurt Warner's movie. Kurt Warner's movie is when I was bawling my eyes out last because how inspiring it is. But I am getting a little more emotional as I get older.
You're just getting started, man. Being a girl dad, you are just getting started. The tears are gonna roll all the time.
She's so cool, man. She's so cool.
I know. They are awesome. I got 2 grandkids now, and it's same way. I got a little granddaughter, and oh my gosh, there's nothing better. Wrapped around my finger.
See the grandparent. My dad. I'm seeing a side of my dad that I didn't know existed. I'm like, wait a minute. This is he's so soft. And, that he didn't have a daughter though. And then my mom, her losing her mind basically like, hey, if you need me to come watch the kids at all, whatever. And then they are, pretty nice to do okay, we gotta
sweet.
We gotta get out of here. She's seemingly tired, hungry, needs a diaper change. You guys have a good one. We're gonna get the hell out of here. I can't wait for that stage. That's gonna be a good time. Let's stick with the draft. Connor's got a question for you after watching all the film.
Yeah, Kurt, I know you don't want to say it, but it does sound like there's an underlining meaning that you think the Patriots are going to get the best quarterback in this draft, so I appreciate you saying that. But when you think about just the quarterbacks as a whole, and you don't want to say like, hey, this guy's going to be good, this guy's going to be great, because you don't know. Nobody does. But when you look at them, is it more so like a draft with the talent of like 2020, where it's Burrow and Herbert and Tua and 3 guys that worked out in the top 10 that usually doesn't happen? Or do you think it is kind of there's a chance it could be like a 2021 where the top top guy, Trevor Lawrence, does great, and then, the rest obviously have their problems. Do you see it like that, or do you think that the talent in this quarterback draft specifically is to a level where there are a lot of guys that could all have success in the NFL?
I do think there's a number of guys that could have success. I mean, again, what does success mean to us, right? What are we looking at when we say at the end of the day they're successful? But I do believe there's a number of guys in this class that will be starting quarterbacks in the National Football League. I mean, you have Caleb, who has got, the unbelievable talent. He has shown, numerous seasons of playing at a high level and helping his team be successful and win. I'm really excited to see Jaden Daniels at the next level. He kind of had that Joe Burrow type year where he just exploded on the scene. I'm wondering, okay, is that going to be who he's going to be the rest of his career? But it was so good last year, and he had some of the best tape out there. When you looked at a couple of the games, you're just like, wow. I mean, this guy hardly made a mistake. He made big time throws. I really like Michael Penix. And again, I know there's an injury.
4-4 yesterday.
Yeah, I understand some of those elements, but just watching him on tape, he shows it time and time and time again. You watch him throw at the combine in person, and you're like, okay, there's something there throwing the football, and he's played at a high level. So I'm excited about that. Drake May, again, the tape is kind of inconsistent, but you see the traits, and you see if he can clean up some of the things, what he's capable of. Talking to people saying he's a football junkie. When we talk about a football junkie, a guy that loves the game, he's one of those guys that just loves talking ball and wants to go out and play ball. So I think there's unbelievable potential there.
Yeah.
I know J.J. McCarthy is sprung up the boards. I wouldn't say I'm, as high on him just off of his college tape as some people are, but I do see why there's things to like. What he did in college, the winner that he is, the system that he played in, playing under center. I believe there is definitely some tools there that can make him an NFL starter without a doubt. I just want to see more. I want to see him carry a team because, in most situations, you got to be able to do that if you're a franchise quarterback. So I do believe that there are a number of guys in this class that will be starting quarterbacks in the National Football League, and they will be solid players in the league. I don't know, as we keep saying, I don't know how many will be superstars.
Yeah.
But I do believe we've got some good players here that will project to be good players in the NFL.
You talk about work ethic there for Michael Penix, the guy you said you like. It's like 2 ACLs, those rehabs, not fun. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of alone time, isolated time. That's a lot of painful times, teaching your knee to be a knee again. The metal bar scraping the scar tissue off, signing up to do – you remember – yeah. Kurt, think about it. Nobody even really – unless you went through it, you have no idea. Like, he's signing up to go in to do that for 2.5, 3 months straight. It's like, I think mentally – checks a lot of boxes. If you just look at what his history was. And he's taller and bigger than when you see him in person. And him running a 4.4 or 4.5, it's like, wait a minute. I think that was a surprise to us all. And when you talk about Drake May, we talked a little bit earlier about guys rolling out of bed, being able to do this. Like, Drake May's been bigger, stronger, faster, more athletic than everybody he's been on the field with probably since he started playing football, if we had to guess. And you're talking about his technique and stuff, right? It feels like that's what a lot of the quarterback guys that are talking about Drake May are like. He needs to time up his feet and his arm. He could do that with work. He just needs a little bit more growth. Is that what you're talking about whenever you speak about the North Carolina 12-year-old looking kid? He looks like a young lad with that clean shave.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. He missed too many what I call layups. Like, when you get to the NFL, you got to make the layups. You got to make the layups 99% of the time. And by that, I mean, the reads you're supposed to make that are easy reads on certain plays, the throws you're supposed to make that are easy throws. And he misses too many of those. His feet would get out of whack. He'll bounce in the pocket. He'll be off on his timing. And he just misses too many of those throws. And then he makes the special throw that's 30 yards down the field and that wows you. But I think the one thing that I see every week when watching tape in the NFL is the guys that make the layups give their team a chance to win every time out. Even if they don't make all these special plays, even if they don't run around and aren't these great playmakers, you make the layups that are in front of you, the reads you're supposed to make, those throws that you're supposed to make, and allow the guys in front of you to do their job. you give yourself a chance every single week. And that's what the best quarterbacks in the league do. And they don't depend on having to be special to get there. And so that to me is what, I need to see from Drake May. Can you be that guy that makes the layups, or do you have to hang on those 5 or 6 special plays that you make each game?
There's been a trend here of every quarterback that has been in the NFL and played games saying the same things.
Yep. Yeah.
Hey, these throws are that's like in the kicking world, like field goal kickers. Like when I was in high school, I go to a couple camps, and I'm just lining up at 65 and just bombing it over everybody's head, and it's an immediate, whoa, look, this guy's leg is gigantic. What I should have been doing is,
locking in,
going into the. You're kicking a lot more 30-yarders, and 40-yarders than you're kicking 65-yarders in this entire thing. But you can get mesmerized by the arm strength. Hey, wait a second. Whoa, hey.
A little wave from the wife in the back.
Hey, can we get one of these? Hey. Don't we need?
Do a line dancing back there. She's going to pass this morning, but welcome to join us in Arizona and go out to a little club and do some line dancing with us. I've offered that a couple times.
I know, Kurt. I'm busy.
I'm busy. Take up on it.
Listen, when Copperhead Road hits and we're at that saloon, I cannot wait to get my ass out there as the saloon doors go flying open. Where were we? Blacksburg, Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Is that where we were?
No, it was.
Where was it at? Go ahead.
My wife just said you're all talk. I don't know. That's what she's saying. You're all talk. I mean, you do talk really well, but she said you're all talk. I'm just saying.
I got tape. Okay, you tell her I got film. Okay, of me, boom, bang. I think I even do one of those at one point. I mean, there's a full-on. Listen, I don't need to hear this shit. What's that?
Maybe you ought to send it over, and just like I'm breaking down the quarterback tape, I'll have Brenda break down your line dancing tape, and we'll get a little assessment on where she thinks you can go, what your ceiling is as a line dancer.
Okay, I like this. Yes. I like this a lot. Obviously, here's Kurt and his wife. Here they are. Here's Kurt and his wife line dancing. It's where they really found the chemistry. If you watch the American Underdog Story, a tear jerker.
Look out.
4 to 5 different times of waterfalls. Okay? But because we love Kurt Warner so much, we're powering through all of them.
That's right.
The amount of, I'm not doing this, that I had in the middle of that movie, and then my wife going, come on. And then just woo. But that line dancing time.
Incredible.
Come on, man.
She fell in love with you a little bit more when you were watching that movie, didn't she?
My wife?
Yes.
I was a little bit worried she's looking at me and thinking I'm a soft ass, but I think there's a chance. I think there's a chance she fell in love a little bit more. You're talking about hitting layups and being a great franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
The Pittsburgh Steelers have been looking for a long time, seemingly since Ben's gone. Tone's got a question for you, Kurt.
Yeah, Kurt, I'm not sure if you've heard this or not yet, but you are one of the reasons why the Steelers fans have hope for Russell Wilson, and that's because Michael Lombardi, former NFL GM, came on this program and said, and a light bulb went off for everybody, and said, Kurt Warner, great with the Rams, incredible career with the Rams, Giants, whatever happened there happens, and then goes to the Cardinals and rejuvenates, has an incredible, great career there as well. We are hoping that the same thing happens with Russell Wilson, and that Denver Broncos was just, that wasn't even a thing. Okay?
Who remember that? 100-something million? Who cares?
Nope.
I don't remember that.
You think Russ has a chance to do that in Pittsburgh, and what's your overall thoughts on that quarterback room in general now that it's been completely overhauled?
Yeah. I hope he does. Now, here's the thing that I would say is, my time in St. Louis and then my time in Arizona, the key to that was being able to play the game the same way. When I went to the Giants, we wanted to play football completely different than I did in St. Louis. And then when I went to Arizona, it was a process of building an offense that fit not only my skill sets, but the skill sets of how we were built as a team, but it was more playing back to my strengths. And so it wasn't that I ever forgot how to play football. It was just, okay, they're not playing and using my skill set and what I do really, really well.
Got it.
When I was able to do that, whether that was St. Louis or Arizona, I was able to play at an extremely high level. So that to me is kind of what you're hoping with Russell is let's get back to doing what he did well. Now, the question, because again, me being a non-athlete as a quarterback, I played the game mentally more than I played it physically, so I could play it the same way at 38 that I played it at 28. can Russell do that? Can Russell get back to being that guy that he was in Seattle, which was more creative, more off-schedule type plays, more of a simple offense that says, hey, pick a guy and sling it or go create, which is kind of what they tried to do a little bit more last year in Denver, but it didn't look the same. It wasn't the big plays down the field. It was more checkdowns and short runs than it was the big plays that connected to who Russell Wilson was. So I think we have to ask two questions. And the first one is, can Russell play the same way he played in Seattle? Like, can he be that same playmaking guy that he was that made him so special and a Hall of Fame type player in Seattle? And then secondly, what is this offense going to ask of him? I think when he went to Denver, this was a combination of not only the Denver Broncos and their coach saying, we want to get a quarterback that can play more conventional quarterback, but I think it was Russell Wilson saying, I want to show everybody that I can play more conventional quarterback and read the field and dissect defenses and do all of that. And he wasn't able to do that in Denver. He wasn't able to pick that up and play that type of game the way that the best players in the league do if they're those types of players. And so that's where we're left right now, is to go, okay,
I hate that.
Can one of these two things happen? Can Russell become that guy if they need him to be? Or do they have to design an offense around what Russell Wilson was in Seattle? And is he capable of doing that again and carrying a team? And then you'd ask about the room, and you ask about Justin Fields as well. And that's, I think the thing that Justin Fields has to prove to everybody too is that he is very similar to who Russell Wilson was in Seattle. He's a guy that's unbelievably talented and will create plays and make big plays for you through the course of a game that make you go, wow, look at all this potential. But he doesn't make the layups. He doesn't see the field as well as he needs to be that guy that gives his team a chance every time out, because he's doing those little things. So both of these guys, to me, are very similar type quarterbacks. And you're asking, can they carry a team doing what they've done up to this point? Or can one of them grow into a quarterback that can be more complete, connected to their playmaking, to take the Pittsburgh Steelers to that next level?
Feels like a good situation for Justin Fields, because I think a lot of it, he's another one of those guys, wakes up. He's more athletic and better than everybody else. So some of the fundamental things about missing layups you're talking about, he didn't really, not that he couldn't do it, just didn't have to do it. So when those moments pop up, it's like, all right, haven't worked on it as much. Now you get an opportunity with a fresh start with a coach who's been in love with him for a long time, seemingly, if you listen to Mike Tomlin speak. And then for Russell Wilson, you talked about him wanting to prove to the world that he can be the pocket passer and dissect and break everything up. I hate that is a thing. And, it's mostly media's fault, I guess, but also fans' fault. This happened to Lamar Jackson, too. Like, I think whenever Lamar was a free agent, everybody was talking about, well, can Lamar's style win you a Super Bowl? And can Lamar do what a pocket passer can do, guys that have been able to play a long, long time? And then you get to that game against the Chiefs, and there's like all these times where he could have just ran. Mm-hmm. Lamar Jackson could have ran for 50 yards. That's how we're seeing it. From a sky cam shot. We're not in the pocket like Lamar is, but just afterwards. And then everybody starts saying, well, Lamar was trying to prove people wrong. Lamar was trying to prove people wrong. It's like, I hope that's not true. I don't think that's true. But even the thought of saying, like, what Russell did in Seattle wasn't good. Like, him running all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
That is you cooking, pal. Mm-hmm. Like, that is what the cooking is.
Top 5 all-time rushing yards for a quarterback.
Yeah, and then when you don't want to do that anymore because you want to prove that you don't have to, it's like, bro, you should continue to prove that you can do that, because not a lot of people can do that. It's like, it's all in a framing, and it feels like some things get framed in a certain way, and then egos, prides, legacies, and what people are telling all kind of get in the way. And they're humans out there, not video games,
Yeah, but I would still say that if you frame the quarterback position, especially come playoff time, that what you're saying is true, that these guys are so talented that they can be successful in the regular season or on a normal basis being who they are. But when you get to the playoffs and you have to play good teams week in and week out, most teams are able to take away what you do best.
Okay.
And they force you to have to win inside the pocket. They force you to have to make the layups and make the throws. And that's, to me, what I'm talking about. I'm not saying get rid of being a playmaker. Like,
no, we agree. Well, yeah, I agree with what you're saying.
But watch Lamar Jackson. Watch Josh Allen, watch even Patrick Mahomes. Those guys separate themselves and are more efficient and better for their teams when they play on schedule. And I know it's crazy to see because you're like, what are you talking about? Lamar Jackson making a 50-yard run through 10 people, that's better for their team. But watch them play. There's less efficiency when you're trying to create and be Superman. So I need you to be efficient. But yeah, then give me Superman 2 or 3 times a game. I mean, look at Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, right? It was when the game mattered where he, put on his cape and he made some runs and he made some special plays. But through the course of the game, it wasn't, hey, we're winning this game because Patrick Mahomes is running around and making a bunch of these crazy plays. And that's what I see every single week is Josh Allen, when he plays on schedule, man, he is so good. I broke down a couple tapes with Lamar Jackson when he played on schedule, and he has a perfect quarterback rating, and he's playing great. And so when you can play in that structure and you can do that on a normal basis, now that's where it becomes hard on defenses.
Hell yeah.
As opposed to, okay, you can give me 2 or 3 of those crazy plays and try to make a bunch of those throughout a game. I believe you're going to be less efficient than playing quarterback based on the plays that are called and what's in front of you.
What did Bosa say about Jalen, right? Was it Philly?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Look what we did to Jalen or something.
Yeah,
It was,
he looks at the rush.
Yeah, he looks at the rush, and they were like just taking away what that offense was. That's what great teams do. And you're right. And I think during the playoff run is when we start talking about our team's never had a chance.
Yeah.
like we watch our teams at the beginning of the year and we're like, oh, this could be a team that goes and wins this thing. And then you get to the playoffs and you watch teams that are actually in the playoffs and you're like, whoa, there's levels to this shit. There are levels to this. How many teams do you think every year go in and have an opportunity to win? Because I think it was Sean Payton who went on the record who was like, every year, all of us around the NFL know there's either 6 or 7 teams that could potentially go win the Super Bowl. How many do you think each year, Kurt?
I mean, that's usually what I think. I thought last year was maybe one of those years where I could have seen a lot more teams. I think that was
quarterback injuries everywhere, Kurt.
Well, yeah, I mean, exactly. When you looked at the teams and the quarterbacks that we had, especially on the AFC side, assume Aaron Rodgers doesn't get hurt, you couple him with that defense. So there was a lot of things, and then ultimately at the end of the day, it comes back to what we're talking about, 4, 5, 6 teams, that can get there. I mean, even the NFC side, I thought might be better across the board. And as it started to play out later in the season, I mean, I don't know what you're thinking, but I'm thinking, man, there's maybe 2 teams.
Well, then the Cowboys out. The Cowboys, remember, they're gone.
There's
Eagles
2 teams
gone.
that can really make a run and win the championship on the NFC side last year. So, but again, it's quarterback driven. You're right. And that's what I look at. I look at a quarterback and say, okay, can that guy carry a team against the other best teams in the league? And that's what it comes down. How many teams do we see that win in the playoffs consistently with defense in a running game? I mean, those are essential. Those are part of it. Don't
need to have it.
But the quarterback has to play well in this NFL, and when you have to do it 2, 3, 4 games, that's where the separator really is. And so you have to look at those guys that show you that they can do it at that level consistently.
Yeah, and that's why Patrick Mahomes. They just had a rugby player from Wales.
Mm-hmm.
They just had a rugby player from Wales. That team, they're only going to get better and better. Andy Reid also, he popped a nice little opening pitch for the Royals.
Oh yeah,
he walked out with a Lombardi in one hand and a baseball in the other, and just give it. How you doing? Hey, good to see you. Good to see you. Let me walk out here and do it. That team, bro. It's awesome to watch them. It legitimately is. Andy Reid just seems to be a super genius. And, you talk about him in Philly, can't win the big game. Then he just continues to get to the Chiefs, and it's like, there's Andy Reid season. He runs out of plays like week 10, week 11, then they kind of fall apart. And then he gets paired with Patrick Mahomes, and it's like, oh, I got a quarterback that can do everything that I would dream of doing. And then you got Travis. That team last year was their worst weapons, you would think, going forever probably, and they still win a Super Bowl. It's phenomenal what they're building in Kansas City right now, Kurt.
Well, it is, and I love that they did it a different way last year. Because it was so much offensive oriented before, and then last year it was about great defense. But they have a quarterback that, in the moments, plays best in the biggest moments. And so again, they didn't blow people out. They didn't.
They never cover, Kurt.
Nope.
They never cover, Kurt.
But hey, keep it close. And that's basically what they said last year. And that's basically what Patrick said is, hey, keep it close, and I got you at the end. And, that's what he does better than anyone else is he finishes. And that's what Tom Brady did better than anyone else, right? He didn't blow a bunch of people out in his Super Bowls. Keep it close. Give me a chance, and I'll make those plays in the moment. And, that's what you have to beat in the AFC, moving forward. But I think that's where the best quarterbacks are, is that, hey, whatever I got to do in the moment, I'll play my best football.
Isn't it awesome to think that just at the age of 28, right, Patrick? 28 or whatever.
28, yeah, 27.
28 years old, 27 years old. He goes out on the field with however much time left, 50 seconds, minute 13, whatever it is. At the end, it's like, well, it's over.
Game over.
This is completely over. What a wild resume to put together at such a young age. Congrats, Patrick. Hey, you done good, boss. You done good, Patrick. Another guy started out great. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, Kurt, you talked about a lot with the draft in terms of, you're projecting to see what guys will do. But in terms of, progression, I know, obviously, your first year in the league, you take the world by storm. And I can't remember if it was your second year where you won MVP and kind of cemented, okay, he's unbelievable. But I'm curious about guys like Jordan Love, who, although he's been in the league for several years, last year his first time playing, and he kind of had the hiccups early, but then by the end of the season, he's playing like one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Obviously, C.J. Stroud has the best rookie season ever, and you mentioned Josh Allen, who, when he first came out, everyone's saying, hey, his accuracy's awful, all he can do is run the football. When these guys start to actually progress, is it something that, I guess there's not a percentage you can put on it, but how much better do you expect guys like C.J. Stroud and Jordan Love and Josh Allen to be this upcoming year when they've had another year in the system and actually playing meaningful football?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can overstate confidence and comfort, at this level. I think, we were just talking about Justin Fields, and, we can all talk about the situation in Chicago and how tough that was. And, what I see quite often is guys like that get thrown in and they're trying to survive instead of being able to grow. They're not able to learn how to play the position. It's like, here's the ball, go try to win games for us. And you're not ready to do that. So you're running around just trying to make plays, and it's not fair because you can't grow. And then you talk about a Jordan Love that gets to sit behind a pro for 3 years and gets to learn the game and gets to gain confidence in who they are and what they can do and the offense that they're running. So when they are finally inserted, boom, they're able to hit the ground running. Even in my situation, a lot of people feel like, oh, Kurt, won the Super Bowl in his MVP in his first year. Yeah, it was my first year playing, but I was on the Rams a year before that. Patrick Mahomes was on the Chiefs a year before he won the MVP and took the league by storm. There's something amazing about being able to get into a situation and not feel all the pressure of having to perform at this level right now, not having to carry a team right now. And so I'm always fascinated every year of, are there any teams out there that are going to draft a quarterback high and then say we're not going to play him right away? We're going to give him some time to grow into the position and understand what it takes and really assess where they're at as a player. So when we do put them on the field and put the ball in their hands, they can succeed, not just for themselves. Yeah, I want them to succeed, but for us also. So we can succeed instead of just going, let's hope. We drafted him high. We don't think he's ready, but, let's see what we can do. And it eats up these players, so they don't get the opportunity to be at their best. And it hurts these teams because they're playing a guy that's not ready. Now, there are guys that can be ready when your team's not ready. I think Andrew Luck's a great example, that he had the wherewithal, he had the skill to play at that level, and they inserted him right away. And, they had some success and they took some lumps, but he was still able to play the game and was ready to play the game. So I have no problem inserting those guys young, and, hey, they're going to take their lumps and they're going to grow through it, but they're ready to do it. And we know that they don't have to make great improvements to become the best that they can be. And then there's other guys like Justin that I think need some time. And, that's going to be the question with all of these guys is when you bring them in.
When do you find that out? When do you find that out? First workout in the draft process?
I don't think it's the first workout, but I think through training camp when again, you're watching the things that I'm talking about, do they see it? Remember Justin Fields last year when he had a press conference and he said something to the effect like, they're asking me to do too much. They're asking me to do things I can't do, and I'm handcuffed and I can't play football. That to me is a great indication of, if we're asking you to play football this way and you're not comfortable doing it, you're not ready to be in that situation yet. Now, we can always say, well, forget it. Change the system to be what somebody else, or what your quarterback is. I understand all that. But I think there's a lot of coaches that say, that's great, but if we're going to have the sustained success that we want to have, and if we want to win championships, you have to be able to do these things. Yeah. So I have to get you ready to do these things, and it's why I'm challenging you in this way. And if you're not ready, I shouldn't be throwing you out there and saying, do it, even though I know you can't do it. Like, I have to bring you along and I have to coach you. And so that's, these guys should know in training camp whether their guy, at least to some degree, understands what they're asking them to do and have a chance to be successful doing it. And if they don't, you're throwing them to the wolves. And like I said, they're just playing catch up and they're running around trying to survive instead of being able to grow and get better.
Fun fact about that thing, and you bring up Andrew Luck, I happen to be on that team. The first day he showed up at OTAs, he was late a couple weeks because he wanted to get his degree in architectural engineering or something.
Of course.
I think he's like the number one prospect architectural engineering on earth. If he was I think if from what I've been told by not him, but people around him, if he wanted to be, he would be
the guy.
Yeah. From what I've been told. First day he's there. Okay, so the offense had been run by Drew Stanton, maybe. Nah, I forget who was back up. Maybe Hasselbeck. I don't know if it was his first year. Whatever. They were just going through the steps of the playbook, learning it through OTAs. His first day there, defense showed something and walked through. Obviously it's offense players wearing pennies. They show something. He checks to something. Whatever it is. Nobody had a clue what offensive lineman didn't know what it was. Wide receiver didn't know what it was. Running back didn't know what it was. Bruce Arians was like, we are nowhere near there yet. We are nowhere. He was sent the playbook, obviously, in an iPad. He was going from page 90. Okay, they were on page 15. And it was literally the first walkthrough play where Andrew was like, check Bauda, and what? And he was like, so whenever you say some people are just ready, it was literally from the first time we saw him snap a ball, it was like, yep, this is going to be our guy. He was fun to watch, man. Fun to watch. He was so nice, the kindest, smartest human I've ever been around. Much like you, Kurt. We appreciate the hell out of you, brother. Thank you for joining us.
You got it. Anytime, guys. Love talking ball.
I'm about sick of you canceling the line dancing shit, too. Yeah. Tell your wife, one of these times...
You're going to throw this out to all the millions of people listening, and they're going to look at me a certain way because they believe everything you say.
No.
Never canceled. I'm here. Super Bowl, Arizona 2 years ago. You were supposed to be here. Well, anyways.
We had pickleball.
Pickleball.
Kurt. Pickleball. Ladies and gentlemen, Hall of Famer Kurt Warner. Thank you, buddy. He has invited me 4 different times.
Every time he's on.
Yeah. Well, not only that, I'll get text messages or DMs.
No.
That'll be like, hey, heard you're in the area if you want to stop by. And it's always very poorly timed. So I love Kurt. Thank you for joining us.
Man.
Next hour, we have Orlovsky, AJ Hawk. Then we got Steve Smith Sr. in the third hour on this Feel Good Good Friday. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change your life. Take 3. And we are in a conference room in a hotel that is the home of the annual league meeting. It is wonderful down here in Florida. Jim Harbaugh was showcasing to me why he doesn't like the hip drop tackle. He was actually wrapping his massive arms around me and then saying, this is what we're trying to get out.
Jim Harbaugh's rules, this is his business card that he gave me.
Jim Harbaugh's rules to live by. You guys are drafting Caleb Williams #1 overall.
We'll see.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Woo! You did it. When RG3 comes out, you heard him. Yeah. Okay.
I think accuracy, is the #1 trait that NFL quarterbacks need to have.
So Penix.
Ooh, okay.
I think accuracy is the #1
okay.
trait that
didn't say no.
Easy, K, don't give anything up. Hey, you got a lot of leverage right now.
I'm not sure if you know this or not, but you guys are taking wide receiver in the first round is what I'm being told, and everyone.
Hey, congratulations for doing that.
Good class for it.
Way to go.
Just the first round?
Whoa.
Got 11 picks.
I thought the most impressive thing about it was a lot of people had the sense that this was going to happen, and not one person uttered it. It was a completely respectful respect-driven thing for Aaron to let him do it the way he needed to and wanted to because he deserved that.
Obviously, I had nothing to do with the offense, but I made sure I had a conversation with Jameis every day, just for myself. It was like self-motivation.
Are you a bobcat or a deer girl?
Boom. Okay. That's good news.
I think I'm like a deer, guys.
1, 2, 3, all locked, do you think?
I don't know that yet.
Who could jump up there? Who could pack
Caleb Williams, I agree with it, 1. Okay. My guess would be Jaden Daniels at 2. And 3, there has been a lot of Drake May conversation. Here's the thing. These things,
Shafty. Sounds like you know more than what you're leading on right now.
Do I think they'll ultimately stay and make the pick at 3? My guess would be yes.
Fucking thank God. Jesus Christ.
If it's going to cause you that much agita, I'm going to definitely see if I can find out some more stuff that will give you more heart palpitations.
Oh, Shafty!
You don't need to be a prick. I just want a quarterback so I can root for football again.
Feels like that's probably the case. Conman's got a question for you. Right?
Yeah, Shefty. Excuse me.
Oh, no.
What? I am so. So sorry.
You know what? That's okay. I don't hold it against you.
Can you kick one of those shoes up here?
It says rap sheet. I'll get your kids on there too. That's pretty sweet.
We went to Venice and they had an artist draw it on it.
In Italy?
Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Caboli.
Oh no! Stop laughing, Gump.
Well, it's a tough chair.
It's a good chair.
Ready, 1, 2, 3, jump.
Got an ACL.
Schultz, I'm gonna be honest. I thought we were out of here, but then I see you over there.
I ruined your.
You did not ruin it. This is actually.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
What?
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Sport.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Feel Good Good Friday, March 29th, 2024. Hour 2 of the program starts now.
Sports
are awesome. Sweet 16 tipped off last night. Draymond Green was an asshole on a basketball court a few days ago. We got a massive weekend of sports and golf and basketball, and more NFL stories will fall out of the NFL because that's what the NFL does. It never, ever stops. We got some stories to cover about that. We got Dan Orlovsky joining us.
Here we go.
We got Steve Smith Sr. joining us in about an hour on YouTube and ESPN Plus. And we got a weekend ahead of us with hopefully good times, good family, good memories, good vibes. The Talks Table is here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Con man, what's on the shirt?
Yeah, it's Blow. Boston George.
I thought that was George Young.
Yeah, it is.
He is an animal of sorts.
Exactly. That was my thought
good all the
process.
time.
And I brought 2 shirts today, and one of them I just looked at, and I was like, "This isn't a feel good shirt. You know, it's kind of more of a violent shirt." So I decided to go with Boston George.
You know what they did to George in that FBO?
Just wasn't right.
Not right at all.
No, it wasn't.
How about him walking through those airports with the false bottoms? Method acting, basically, saying he had to do what he had to do. You know, you can't be getting high off your own supply.
You can't.
That turns out to be the problem. But George had a hell of a rundown. People would say he contributed to the downfall of a city or two, but hey, George had a hell of a run.
Thank you, George.
Cocaine Cowboys, what a documentary.
Unreal.
Yeah.
That is unreal.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All of it.
The whole thing. Maybe one of the greatest documentaries ever made.
Yeah, and then like you mentioned American Made yesterday, the TC movie. Like that aspect of it too, also unbelievable.
A lot of drug stuff happened
Back
in the day.
Yeah.
Nowadays, the drug stuff is can't do it, you'll die.
Yeah, well, and nowadays the stuff happening is way worse, you know?
Yeah, so, hey, younger generation, if you're listening, let us be the ones that tell you, you can't do drugs.
Nope.
Okay? You can't do them. Back in the day, you might have heard stories from older people doing them. Now you can't do them. You'll die. Just like that. They got trash-ass weed that has fentanyl in it.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Can't do it.
Can't do it. Sorry. That's just how it is.
Be
You'll
safe.
die. Don't die. We don't want you to die. We have friends that have died from these. Don't do it. That'd be great going forward. You know what? Healthier America.
Well said.
That's good.
Amen.
Healthier America.
Oh yeah, brother.
That's good news. One half of the hammer. Dahn. Cowboys, Tone Diggs. Rocking a 3 shirt. The world has noticed.
Yeah, they have noticed. It's hard not to when you're rocking the Intimidator. You know, I thought no better day than today to raise hell and praise Dale because Feel Good Friday. That's where we're at going into the Easter weekend.
Raising hell
on Good Friday.
On Good Friday.
Amen, brother.
Yep.
Listen. That schedule doesn't control me. Okay.
Well,
schedule?
I think what you were kind of biting from is the conversation earlier about me saying these college basketball kids don't control my night.
Exactly.
I'm not staying up till 1:45 to watch them play hoops. I'm not being held hostage by a bunch of college kids playing basketball.
Exactly. And I'm going to eat meat on Friday if I want.
Whoa, easy, Tony.
Well, you're supposed to have fish, remember, because the big fish
Wow.
back in the day was about to go out of business. Allegedly. I'm not getting into it.
Allegedly.
Pontius Pilate was the 5th governor of the Roman province of Judea, serving under Emperor Tiberius from 2627 to 3637 after death of Jesus Christ.
Crazy years.
He is best known for being the official who presided over the trial of Jesus and ultimately ordered his death. He was born in Abruzzo, Italy.
You son of a bitch.
Guess who else's family comes from Abruzzo, Italy?
Who's that? The DiGiulios?
Yeah.
Oh.
So you are.
Isn't that interesting?
Wow.
Holy hell. We're not going to talk about it on this Feel Good Friday.
No.
That you brought up raising hell and also
Yeah.
family lineage.
Descendant of Pontius Pilate over here. Who
Let's
knew?
move along, please. There's a lot of conversation. Hey, God bless you.
You got to make a ruling.
Hey, God bless you.
God bless you.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Doesn't sound like you're.
He's raising hell on Good
I will
Friday.
celebrate. I got bunnies and eggs all over my house. Okay.
That's very nice of you. It ain't about the bunny and the egg. Remember, OCW taught us that the bunny has actually been working with the devil this entire time.
That's right.
Joining us now,
Look out.
live from Attica, Ohio, ladies and gentlemen, the all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers. A guy who's going to have to tip the Easter Bunny good this weekend. He's got 10 kids. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk.
Yeah, Hawker.
Happy Good Friday to you, also known as Holy Friday and God's Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. God bless you guys. Happy Easter as well. I'm glad you guys have really been exploring the space when it comes to Easter and all that it entails. So glad to be here.
No better time than now. I heard this is like the conference championship weekend, right?
It is.
Basically.
This is
Yeah.
right Easter,
Yeah.
and then Christmas is the big one.
Yeah. Well said.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that. A lot of people would argue that Easter is actually the Super Bowl.
Really?
Kind of like the WrestleMania.
That's when he came back. Yeah, of course.
It is.
Big day.
Christmas is
Yeah, but what about him being born?
Well-
what about him being that doesn't even a guy's
big too.
birthday?
True.
Big too.
Easter or Christmas Mass is, you're looking at probably like an hour and a half. Okay, so it's long. The Easter Vigil is about a 3-hour Mass.
What's that?
Easter Vigil.
Who's doing
baseball
that? What's
game.
that mean? They're doing the whole story there?
So at a
Front to back.
Listen,
They're reading the whole book?
Yep.
we were never a big Easter
Front to
Vigil
back.
family, but you can go to Mass. Obviously, you're not doing the Easter Vigil, but typically during that they'll do the Stations of the Cross, which is basically like Jesus condemned to die and then follows him all the way until he ultimately is crucified. They do that in the middle of the Mass, so it adds an extra.
There's a full show going on?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like a play. It's sick.
Yeah.
3 hours.
It's electric.
This is like the modern movie length now.
Yeah.
They're going to have to add that, aren't they? A little bit more. Isn't that going to have to get a little 3.5, 4 hours?
I think they're putting Oppenheimer on a projector in the background for the entire.
I don't know
match.
if Oppenheimer's the right one, right?
Yeah, it doesn't
For
really.
Easter.
It
Maybe
doesn't
Gladiator.
It
jive
doesn't
with-
feel like that's the right one.
Gladiator.
Passion of the Christ, maybe.
No, what's that one in the Flower Moon?
Oh, Killers of the Flower Moon.
That one's 3 hours.
Yeah.
That might time up perfectly
Throw that one
with
up
that
there.
entire thing. Anyways, happy Easter to all those.
God bless all of you.
God bless America.
We're going to have Easter at our house this weekend. I can't wait for it.
Hell yeah.
And ham.
It's good stuff. It's nice, feel good. The colors are just, they brighten your day.
The great
Elite
pastels.
Eight will be on.
Yeah, the pastels, the Elite Eight, they're playing basketball on
Hopefully,
Easter.
they might play. They might play at the.
Yeah, they do.
Oh yeah.
They might play at 10 o'clock again, though. But who knows?
That can't happen again. 12:45 last night, Illinois, Iowa State, Eastern Standard Time, even though our state might be moving to Central Time, which 11:45, not bad.
No, not at all.
11:45, not bad if that ends up happening. But 12:45, it was a late night. Illinois gets the upset over Iowa State. Alabama gets the upset over North Carolina. Clemson gets the upset over Arizona. And UConn remains dominant. Big night last night for hoops as we look forward to it wrapping up the Sweet 16 and going into the Elite Eight this weekend, AJ.
Yeah, so 3 good solid games and then UConn. And UConn is the game that I actually watch the most because
sleepy time.
These dudes are an absolute machine. What they do, like how they play, the defense they play, they're a fun team to watch, honestly. And obviously the madman head coach, it's fun to watch him romp up and down the sidelines and do everything he's doing. But, yeah, how do you beat these guys? I don't know how.
Well, I appreciate the fact that they showed his wife, Andrea, last night, and she has to wash his underwear immediately following the game.
Wash my underwear right now.
We don't know if that's because he's got the squirts during the game or what the case is, but he wears the same underwear. So he's not a little stitious. We're talking about superstitious here with this Hurley fella. And what you said there, they're a machine. I agree. And I was watching as well because it was like, I think we were all laying in the bed probably the same time. Kind of this was the
old buddy Spencer, I believe, his first half, he was unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
Flawless. I mean, there was
the transfer.
The second half, though, just see ya. This game's over. Like who knows what happened. But and we're not big college basketball buffs.
No.
Buffs?
We're fans. We're definitely fans.
Buffs.
Never claimed to be.
We'll watch. Yeah, if a game's on during March Madness, we'll watch. We got nothing else to do. Okay? So we're not the experts here. With this modern era of trying to find dogs being harder, we've heard that from college football coaches. We've heard that around, like with where society is and everybody's much nicer to each other. Now, there's always going to be assholes. Seems like people are much nicer to each other. So finding the dogs is a little bit more difficult. Feels like in basketball, you only need to find 5 of them, right? You find 5 of them. And then you basically set a culture then. If they have success, you can set a culture, and then you have like he can go into a house and be like, congratulations, we think you are a UConn Husky basketball player. You're tough, you're hard-nosed, you're a dog, you're good in the that is a whole, Stanford used to have this. When Andrew Luck and them, and before that, Toby Gerhardt, and I think the others, it was like, that's a Stanford guy. He's going to Stanford. Some schools have, full-on identities of who's going to play there. I would assume South Carolina women's basketball has, hey, this is, identities, cultures. Feels like UConn has their culture when it comes to men's basketball, and we're watching it just be on display, and it is dominant. And it's like, I think Perk brought this up yesterday. It's so vastly different than the NBA style of basketball.
Big time.
It's like a different sport almost that they're playing. Yeah. It's been fun to watch them, even though they've just been kicking everybody's ass, AJ Hawk.
Yeah, it has, but the only way you are able to build that crazy culture and to get people to, you could go into someone's living room and say, hey, you are UConn material, and they'll do whatever it takes to come there, is if you win. And they won the national championship last year. They're on track to do it again. If you can go back-to-back, it makes recruiting much easier, I would say.
But I don't think they're just looking for any good basketball player.
No.
It doesn't feel like that is. It's like,
you got to be a UConn guy, it feels like. You got to know your role when you show up on campus.
So Reese asked Perk yesterday, will that work in the NBA? Are they talking about Hurley going to the NBA? Is that a conversation? I didn't even know that was.
No, I didn't know that was a thing at all either. And I just
eventually they will, though.
Yeah, normally if you win back-to-back, that's the
next?
So, for some of them, but like Kyle Barry's always been there, Coach K, Roy Williams. There are just college. Yeah,
Pitino tried, right?
He was in the Celtics for a little, but then he went back.
Kyle Barry coached in the NBA too.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's always got to go take a sniff.
Kind of like the NFL.
Did Bobby Knight ever go?
Billy Donovan did it.
Back.
I don't think.
After Florida won too, Billy Donovan went. Yeah.
Where'd Bob Knight go? He went to Texas Tech.
Yes.
After Indiana. That was a big deal here around Indiana.
Yeah. He showed up and said, "What?" And didn't he say in his first press, "This is the best. This is the best I've ever felt wearing a red sweater."
Yeah, I mean, Bob Knight cut some great promos.
Yes, he did.
Let's not act like he wasn't a promo cutter from way back. You watch a documentary on that guy; he was living in his own world. His own world.
When he passed some of those quotes that were coming out, there were some lightning rod sentences that he put together.
Yeah, there's some others as well that I think people were like, "Well, I can't say that."
I think those are the ones I'm talking about.
The Indiana folks, they're still dreaming.
Oh, yeah.
Of a team being like a Bob Knight basketball team.
Oh, yeah.
Like this Purdue run that's happening right now with Edey, and I can't wait to watch him. Let's go. Zach, let's go. Yeah. You're 7 foot 100. You're a dog. Everybody thinks you can't. Why not? Why not, Edie? Go do this thing. But Indiana fans now have kind of had to like, all right, let's go.
Since
and Indiana State NIT,
they're rooting for him, really?
No, but like if Indiana State wins the NIT and Purdue wins,
oh man,
it's like that's tough.
No,
that's tough for the University of Indiana. Who is like basketball. This is a basketball state, dude.
Live and die.
He said, "Are they is Indiana fans rooting for Purdue?" No.
Who do we hate?
Yeah, Coach Signetti is rallying the money down there for Indiana football.
He is.
But you talk about football schools being great at basketball. How about Alabama and Clemson?
Yeah.
How about them? How about them? Because Alabama, with what's going on right now, Kalen DeBoer. Now, there were some people that transferred out of there and then saw what life was like at other places like Iowa and said, I'm coming back. There was a lot of big-time stars that were able to go somewhere else for a lot of money. It's like the Alabama football team. I think fans are kind of wondering, how's this going to go? We expect it to be great. We still got Jalen. Kalen DeBoer has been proven to be a great coach everywhere he's ever been, but also a little bit worried. Clemson, their football team, especially with Florida State going, and now their men's basketball teams are like, we got you. That's good. That's good team football, baby.
Yep.
Good team.
That's good university football right there. I appreciate that for their fans.
Well, especially with everyone talking in like the SEC, like Alabama was kind of, we knew about all the guys they had last year, and last year was supposed to be the year because they had the prohibitive number 1 pick. Like, hey, they're supposed to go win this year. And then all that stuff happened. They don't. And then this year, they're kind of an afterthought. Everyone's talking about, hey, this Kentucky team has everything it takes to, and the SEC didn't play well in the first round. And then all of a sudden, it's like, here they are still dancing, and beating North Carolina last night. Like, they play a very exciting brand of basketball, too. They score a lot of points. Like, they're very fun to watch. They're the kind of team it feels like where if they get hot, they could beat anybody.
Excited to watch the basketball this weekend and this evening. Thank you to College Hoops for keeping us entertained throughout the day. Now, if a game sucks, it is a little bit of a bore.
Tough.
A little bit of a bore. But I think where we're at right now, we're going to get good games across the board, so we're appreciative of that. Let's go back to the NFL, shall we? Woody Johnson clarified some rumors about himself and Bob Saleh throwing fists at each other. Woody Johnson put out a tweet and goes, all this nonsense about a heated argument between Coach Saleh and me at the league meeting is absolutely false. It is yet another irresponsible report from NFL Network.
Ooh.
Please disregard.
Yikes.
Okay, so you dive into this a little bit. Who owns the NFL Network? The NFL does.
Yes.
But who's on the TV committee? Well, the Crafts are, right? Because allegedly, a Kraft person is one of the higher-up persons in the entire media. Because remember, the NFL media almost got sold. Remember, there was that entire situation where NFL media was either up for sale or was almost sold. Did Disney buy? Did ESPN buy? No, they didn't. Then you start digging in, well, who's a part of all this? How is that even potentially happening? Well, allegedly there was a deal, then there was no deal. Who was involved in it? Oh, maybe not Woody Johnson, So Woody Johnson and these owners that obviously they benefit from NFL Network, their league is a part of, the building of the entire programming. They just get a check from it. But not everybody, I assume, thinks the NFL Network is fair towards their team. That's kind of what my thoughts are here from Woody Johnson. Yet another irresponsible report from the NFL. He owns that. Yeah. He owns that network. There's 32 entities that own that thing. Roger Goodell is ultimately the boss at NFL Network. And Woody Johnson's like, this platform, we get a check from it. We like it. It's okay. But yet another one. I didn't even think about that potentially being the case. But Woody seems to not be as appreciative of the NFL Network as maybe you would expect an NFL owner to be who owns the programming itself.
Well, what other, can you think of any, I'm sure diehard Jets fans can think of times when the NFL Network, they feel like they've been misrepresented by them. Does anyone in the studio know?
I don't know.
What would the biggest one be?
I don't know, because if you think about like the NFL Network, in theory, if you didn't want to piss off your bosses, you have to literally talk about every team in a positive light.
Exactly. Yeah.
You have to. Like that would literally,
no matter what.
No matter how. So you automatically start assuming like, well, how can you remain non-biased? Is there any journalism happening at NFL Network because you're directly reporting about who's giving you money?
Yeah.
So how is there not a potential give and take there? But I bet there's plenty of teams that are like.
I bet every team feels like they've been screwed over by NFL Network at some point in the last 10 years.
This is our network, and they're saying,
guaranteed.
Yeah, oh my God. And because I don't even know how you go about doing it without it being considered, biased in some sort. Like Good Morning Football's last day in New York was this morning. Hell of a run.
Hell yeah.
Hell of a run on Good Morning Football.
They're going to L.A.?
I believe they're moving to the L.A. studio, which is huge. Like, the studio over there is gigantic.
Yeah.
8K. Beautiful.
Yeah, state of the art.
And they own it.
Right.
That's
You know,
big.
in New York, they're leasing space at a World Trade Center, which is which one is it? Do we remember the number?
Two, maybe?
Oh, I'm sorry, it's SNY.
SNY is
but
the-
it's in the which World Trade Center?
Oh, I don't remember. I want to say 2, but I don't know.
And it's
I
like
have
the
no idea.
50th floor. I mean, we've seen it because we were in a studio right next to it for about a year in World Trade Center 4, Building 4. So it's the view, Statue of Liberty. I mean, it is New York real estate that they've been running out and leasing for Good Morning Football for the last 8 years. And then I would assume, and obviously, you know, big brains are in every meeting, they just go, hey, we have this studio that's bigger, nicer, has more accessibility, and we don't have to pay anybody anything in Los Angeles. Why the hell are we paying $50,000 a month to be in this particular building over there? And now you listen to the Good Morning Football folks, and Kyle Brandt cut another stellar promo from the street this morning. We all watched it, and thank you to Kyle and Schrags for their Wall Street bits and everything that, like, literally Good Morning Football is what it is, but it's like they feel like New York's a part of the fabric. The NFL Network just was like, this is an easy
go anywhere
kind of change in there. But that show, seemingly positive.
For sure.
It is.
About it. That's why I think it's so impressive what they've been able to accomplish is because they are on NFL Network, so they have to talk NFL. Everything has to tie back to NFL. And also, can't talk really much shit on anybody because everybody in the NFL owns this and everybody in the NFL is watching it. That's a tough kind of needle to thread that Good Morning Football has been able to do. Congrats to them.
Yeah.
Congrats to all you guys on the New York run. That was they done good over there, I think, and tough, not an easy thing to do.
Do you remember when they started, when they said they were going to have this NFL the morning show? People, I remember thinking like, how are you going to compete with anything? How are you going to get anyone to tune in? But they did, like you said, they had a good 8-year run, and I think it's because it seemed like they were having fun. Like they had a good time, they had a good crew together. Kyle, we know Schrags, we know everyone there is they love ball, and let's see what happens in LA though. I don't know what it's going to be once it moves there.
Some of the skits and segments were misses, but that happens on every show.
Yeah, exactly.
It happens on our show. It happens on everything. But they seem to always sell out over there.
Yeah.
Every single segment, they're
They're
going all in.
Doing it.
They were all in. You know, that's not normal. That's not. I enjoyed the Good Morning Football New York run. Now, it is down for a few months until football season. Then they're launching back in L.A. And before Good Morning Football, they had NFL AM, and that was based out of L.A. And I got to be on that show a few times.
AM in L.A.
3 a.m.
Yeah.
3 a.m. call time. 4 a.m. lunchtime for 7 a.m. East Coast. Yeah, that was wild. I was on that show like 4 or 5 times over there, and there was people that did that every single day. Molly started there. Molly Karam, that's where I met her. She was one of the hosts of NFL AM. A couple other, Steve Weich was over there. Brett was over there. There was a few, but I would get a chance to do that show, and it's like 2:30 a.m. People are in there if they're getting extra hair or makeup or whatever. 4 a.m. this thing kicks off. They're adding another hour. Life schedule certainly is wild, but the access they should have with that new studio should make it grander, which is what Kyle Brandt alluded to whenever they get over there. But you're going to bed, 7, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
At least.
It's a different world.
It is a whole different world. It's a whole different world whenever you're doing that.
But also, like, their call time for New York is probably super early, and then you still have to commute to the city. I mean, like, none of them are living in New York. I mean, I guess Schrags has the...
Schrags lives inside of New York.
Is the city.
Exactly. Well, goes without saying. But, yeah, I mean, like, so maybe it's not that different, but yeah, I mean, we thought about that, or at least I thought about that when we were there. Is like, holy shit, how much are they paying to do this show out of this studio every single day? Like I mean, once you start to add that up over 8 years, I'm sure it was a very easy, like, we invested a lot of money in LA. Let's kind of just move this to LA so we don't have to double dip here.
It feels like the writing was on the wall whenever LA launched their own massive brand new studio, and NFL Network was celebrating their new studio. Like that NFL game day morning with Rich and Kurt, I love Kurt Warner. I'm a big fan of Kurt.
He's the man. He's awesome. Just such a rational, good human that knows ball. Like, he's fun to listen to.
Whenever they launched that studio, though, that was like the here we go, and then Total Access is out of there. It felt like it was only a matter of time, but that morning situation, it's going to be early, but they're going to bring juice.
That's right. Always nice weather, at least.
Let's talk about what Kurt Warner said. Kurt Warner talked about basically the development of all these guys. I think he echoed the sentiment of a lot of people that have chit-chatted about Drake May. Drake May needs to, maybe we need a year, maybe a few months, maybe however quickly to get maybe fundamentals, technique dialed in so he can be the best he can be. But when you're talking ceilings, I think with what he was able to do at this pro day, the on the run, wrong foot forward, 59-yard toss down the middle of the field is absurd. The deep balls were all wow throws. Him running and meeting people, obviously that one right there is obviously catching a lot of attention because it's in a bucket too. It's not just, but it's all the easy shit, seemingly, is what he needs to get better at, is what all these quarterback gurus are kind of saying. How do you think Drake feels about that? Do you think he's hearing all that? And do you think NFL teams are still yeah, but we think if we do get that straightened out, we got a guy for 15 years who's going to be a high-end NFL quarterback? What are your thoughts on the whole narrative kind of developing here around Drake?
Yeah, I don't know. I do wonder how much these prospects take in of what is said about them. I hope they're not leaning too much on this. They should listen to their agent and whoever the teams are they're talking to. But I guess the way I would look at it, when he can make all these crazy wow throws outside of the pocket, I mean, what a beautiful ball right there.
Dahn.
And he has the physical stature that he has. You would think, all right, I can't really coach or teach that into somebody, but hopefully through fundamentals and a little bit of time, I can teach somebody to hit 99% of the layups, like Kurt said. And hey, let's just keep the chains moving. We got a guy open hole. Let's take a quick 6 yards and let's just keep it moving. I would think you can teach that much easier than you could teach someone to make those wow throws.
Clyde Christensen, who is the quarterback consultant, I believe, for UNC, graduate of UNC, has been an NFL guru, quarterback guru for the last 25, 30 years. Worked with Peyton, worked with Tom, worked with Andrew. I had a chance. He worked with me a little bit as third string quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. He said he reminds me of Andrew Luck. That's who he reminds me of. And you don't think of that immediately because when you think of Andrew, you're okay, this guy was being heralded as the greatest prospect as a freshman in high school. Hey, this guy's the guy. This is the one. He's going to be the next guy. John Elway had a similar amount of hype that he had coming out of high school, through high school, ends up going to the same college, Stanford. He's a super genius. So you don't really automatically link Drake May and Andrew Luck, aside from they're both 6'4", 230, which are massive human beings. But then you start hearing nope, on the board, he's a nerd. He is a dork, kind of, loves ball. They're very similar human beings. Hand size on Luck. I mean, we're talking about...
Yeah, ham hocks.
Yeah, he's
big ones. Paws.
Big old mitts. But this is who Clyde Christensen was saying, who was down there at UNC. He's I see a lot of Andrew Luck in him. Now, obviously, Andrew was able to transition quickly and easily into the NFL because he was... everything that they said he was. But if Drake May could turn into Andrew Luck, I think any team that could be... If you could give up another year or so from what everybody's saying of him just learning what the NFL process is behind the scenes, who I can talk to, how I can talk to people, how I handle my day-to-day, how I handle my schedule, when I'm in the building, when I'm out of the building, all the shit that comes with being a CEO, which is what an NFL quarterback is of a team, of a locker room. It's is that worth it? And I think what I see out of Connor's head is yes, absolutely.
Yeah. No doubt.
We will do that. Jacoby can go for a year, maybe 10 games. And if he gets it figured out in 3 months, that's great news. If not, we'll see him next year.
Yeah, just like Josh Allen. The Josh Allen's rookie year, Fitzmagic started 11 games. Then, Josh Allen played the last 5. Obviously, there's another game now. But do the backup quarterbacks for Washington and New England, do those kind of tell a sign of who they're going to pick? Just because the Commanders with Mariota, obviously more mobile guy, moves around. His style is a lot on the run. And then with New England and the Patriots, obviously, Jacoby Brissett, not really a mobile guy, can move, but not looking to move, more of a pocket passer. Does that kind of show their cards at all or no?
Well, it's showing cards.
What's that?
It's when a guy with a Southern accent who coaches the LSU Tigers says he knows exactly where a guy's going. Here's from yesterday's pro day about Jaden Daniels and Washington Commanders.
He is going to be so committed to taking care of himself that you're going to have to worry about size or he doesn't weigh enough. Lamar's done a pretty good job with his size. I think Mahomes, I wouldn't consider him a giant because he's going to get the ball out to the playmakers and make plays for Washington.
Whoa!
Whoa!
What's that mean?
What did that red face just say right there? Could you imagine being as Irish as he is and down there in the bayou.
It's a nightmare.
Oh my God.
Actual
Baton Rouge, I couldn't even fathom. I've been down there one time for like a night, in and out, lost 45 pounds, had to leave. I don't think he realized what he was signing up for humidity-wise.
No.
I think he probably thought to himself on his trip down there, like, oh, this humidity, this must be today. It must be a bad humidity day.
Yeah.
And then when the next day's worse, he's like, are we going through like a humidity storm here? And they're like, no, this is...
It's every day.
This is every day.
All day.
He's like, Jesus, I didn't know they paid. I should have asked for a humidity clause in that entire thing. So obviously Brian Kelly is very hot down there, and he's building a team that's going to be great. We all have faith that Brian Kelly is going to make LSU good because of what he's been able to do at previous spots. But how about him saying Jaden's going to Washington just like that at the end? What does he know? Or is he just putting that into the universe down there with his family?
I wonder. I mean, because I doubt Dan Quinn's telling him, "Hey, don't worry, we're taking him number 2, no question, no doubt, we're doing it." Like, I don't think that's happening. But maybe Brian Kelly's sitting there, he sees the writing on the wall. He sees how people are talking and looking about him. Like, here we go.
Does Josh Harris, Magic Johnson, have any connection to Brian Kelly?
No, Michigan State. No, there's no connection there.
Cincinnati.
Do they follow the Lord like Brian?
I don't know.
I assume so.
Is that because that would
I've
be?
heard Magic say God bless it.
Yeah.
Yep.
He does.
I think Brian Kelly went to a few movies in some of the theaters that Magic owned during some of his time.
There we go.
Okay, Showtime.
Is he a Lakers fan, perhaps?
I don't know, but maybe.
Brian Kelly loved the Magic Johnson. He had a talk show for a year or two. I think Brian Kelly was a guest, maybe.
Okay, so that might be the connection. Maybe they know each other from the Magic Johnson talk show.
Yeah,
we don't know.
It feels that way.
But also, brand new ownership.
Yep.
Maybe they did go down to Brian Kelly and say, hey, tell us about this guy. And then after the meeting, they go,
yep,
that's our guy.
We're taking him.
All right, thank you so
We
much.
got it.
And then Brian Kelly's like, do you know what you just... Are you saying that to everybody? Or
So I can tell. Can I say that now? Can I put it out?
I'm about to go sweat my dick off, and I'm gonna go tell the world he's
Whole
coming
world.
to Washington if that's okay. And Magic's like, it's all you, baby. Of
course.
I'll put a tweet out afterwards. He goes, Brian Kelly talking to reporters. All right. So Jaden Daniels going to Washington. What does that mean for number 3 with the Patriots? We shall see. And also, are they telling everybody that they're drafting him? Just like the Carolina Panthers told C.J. Stroud they can't wait to go play hoop with him whenever he was at his Ohio State pro day. Are they potentially, and this leads to a bigger conversation, I guess. Nobody has anything on any of these quarterbacks. I feel like there is a lot of sway ability here.
For all of them?
I think it's pretty volatile. Because unless these decision makers aren't telling anybody anything, we're hearing 14 different things from every different insider.
All the time.
NFL Network was like, Drake May's going to Washington.
Yes.
Right? Aren't we hearing? Aren't we
that
seeing it?
NFL Network.
DJ said that. Bucky Brooks said that.
Charles
and then
Davis.
Charles Davis, yeah.
Yeah, so the NFL Network, we don't know who they're talking to. They got Drake to the Commanders. But then you hear other people talking, and it's like Jaden Daniels is he's moved himself as the number 2 quarterback in this particular draft. It's like, well, does that mean the Commanders are going to trade and then somebody else is going to go up to get Jaden Daniels? It's like nobody seems to know shit this year other than Caleb's going 1, but polls wouldn't even guarantee that to us, and there's people doing it. It's like number 2 overall. These are the overall odds. Jaden Daniels minus 140. Now, his elbow is certainly going to be looked at, talked about, and I don't know how that happens.
No, that's wild.
I don't know how the human body ends up that way, but we had a guy on here yesterday whose left ring finger legitimately points directly out from where his head is.
True.
It makes no sense at all. It's almost as disgusting as AJ's hands. Jaden Daniels minus 140. Drake May plus 125. JJ McCarthy, who's been moving up, plus 250. Marvin Harrison Jr. Whoa. Maybe they go wide receiver at number 2. Maybe somebody trades up because they like Marv so much they want to get in there before all the quarterbacks get out of there. Plus 3,500. Caleb Williams, is he still around at 2?
That's the one to bet.
Plus 4,000. Then Dallas Turner plus 8,000. It seems like that's a bit of a long shot. But if Caleb Williams isn't drafted 1, we assume he's going to get drafted number 2. If Caleb Williams is available after the first pick is gone, you assume there's going to be some action, even if the Commanders don't want Caleb Williams, which why wouldn't you? Because he comes back to the hometown. Plus 4,000 feels like some good odds. And plus 4,000 also tells me they think Caleb's locked in to go number 1 to the Bears.
Yeah, for sure. They're also saying that the Raiders and Vikings right now, and again, this is just rumor mill stuff that you read, but
Rumor mill.
just rumor. Sorry, we're not there.
Donnie Don.
Where's Donnie?
Donnie Don?
Working, of course. It's Friday, but no, seriously. the number 3 pick, allegedly, they're saying that is going to get hot, but probably on draft night, depending who goes to, that the Raiders and the Vikings trying to move up now, but that they might up the ante, Broncos as well.
What are the odds for Caleb to go number 1?
Minus 8,000.
Jeez.
Feels like pretty good luck.
That's doubled.
You have to bet $8,000 to win $100.
Might be worth it.
You know, $8,100 on the way out. You know, you walked in with 8,000.
Exactly.
You want to leave with more money or less?
You walked out 8,100. Can't go broke taking a profit.
No. Quite a risk, though. Just
very risky. Do not do it.
Yeah, it's very risky.
We do not want to get caught up in this.
Now, Caleb Williams, the second pick at plus 4,000. That's something to think about.
Yeah.
Just a little sprinkler.
Just because.
This is not a guarantee. No, the guarantee seems to be a minus 8,000, although nothing is a guarantee.
No.
In this particular world. We saw it the other year when Mac Jones was supposed to go number 3 overall, and he didn't go number 3 overall. We actually were a part of lines moving from like minus 1,600
that was wild.
to like plus 1,000 or something over the span of like an hour and a half. Do you remember that, AJ?
Oh, yeah. You guys were down in Florida, right?
Yes. Yeah, we were in Tampa in a living room. And we get a call from a source and says, hey, number 3 ain't Mac Jones. And we're like, who is it? Yeah, it ain't Mac Jones. All I know. And we go, excuse me? It's minus 1,600 or whatever it is for Mac to go number 3. It ain't. I'm just telling you. And we're like, all right. So we hang up the phone. That's 5 minutes before show starts. Show starts. We go live. Our source are saying, Mac Jones ain't number 3. That is with pretty good information, not number 3. And then all of a sudden you see everybody at the sports books, except for the real slow one. Which one's the slowest sports book? Which one is it?
Hard Rock?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Normally they're a little bit slower than everybody else. You can kind of get them. All the odds makers are like, well, what do they know? So then they start reaching out. And then we doubled down again like 15 minutes in. Hey, we're being told, matter of facts almost here, Mac Jones not going number 3 overall. By the end of the show, it went from minus 1,600 to like plus 500 for Mac Jones to go number 3 overall. I forget the exact swing, but it was. So these odds makers don't know. They know what we know as well.
Yeah.
Unless somebody is plugged in illegally, which it wouldn't be allowed somewhere in decision makers, the books can get got during these drafts.
Oh, yeah.
And they can sway with every piece of inside information that comes out. They're moving. So we can get them. We can get them if we find the right one.
We did see it this year in the NBA draft with Shams. Or I guess that was last year already. But with the Brandon Miller, Scoot Henderson fiasco at number 2. And when he, had the information that he had and he said into the microphone, I mean, all the odds changed at number 2.
Yeah, so the draft is gettable. We just got to make sure, that we're smart about it, and we read the tea leaves.
That's right. Always
read. That plus 4,000 in number 2 might look even better after this conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now, a guy that was founded by Pete Schrager.
That's right.
Dan Orlovsky.
Dan!
Why you gotta be so sensitive, man?
Well, let's put the tweet up that Dan put out there. Big thanks to Shregs. He says, thank God, Shregs. I'm often asked, how did TV start for you? This segment and this man with P. Shregs. This is my first time on TV. Shregs unsolicited DM'd me as I had started to break down stuff and post on Twitter and gave me an opportunity. One I'm forever thankful and grateful for. Owe much of where I am today to PS. I was on Mahomes before Veach was. This was in 2018, right? They gave you a spot, 2018. That was really nice of them. To do that.
Yeah, I think spring of 2018. Yes.
Spring of 2018. That's the numerous months in there. Oh, let's go back to 2017, shall we? Look at your doofus ass.
Oh, who's that?
Monotone speaking ass. You remember this? You remember when, we were falling asleep
that
while you
wasn't
were
on
talking?
TV, bud.
Oh.
That wasn't on TV.
Oh.
Semantics.
Okay.
What? That wasn't on TV. All right. Now I want you to tell people.
Okay.
I want you to tell people what I texted to you this morning.
I'm not. I'm disgusted.
I will not do that.
I'm disgusted by it all. I am absolutely disgusted.
That's not. This isn't. All right. First of all, this is what you're showing is not television. That was not on TV. Am I accurate with that statement? Is that a fact?
I mean, semantics. I guess. Yeah, semantics is what you're doing. That's what you're doing here. We were falling asleep while watching it, which we do some TV. So I guess that adds in.
That's a fact. Second of all, when you texted me, the boys and I are upset this and that. I said I'll be serious here since I said there's 3 people that I am very thankful for, and I owe a lot to why I am on television. 1 is absolutely Peter Schrager. That's a true statement. 2, the Pat McAfee and his show. 3, Mike Greenberg.
Okay. Nice. Well, we don't want to be a part of the blame because a lot of people are mad that you're on TV.
Yeah.
But we did. We when I read that tweet, I'm like,
why?
Oh, Shrey. Okay. They just wanted to know. We learned quickly where we stand.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't wear suits, boys.
Yeah, now we know that that's where we're at.
We don't wear suits. That's the problem. This guy normally.
Literally, there's 3 people that I do not say. There's really 3 people that I never say no to. Greeny, Stephen A., McAfee. So you stand in very.
What about Jesus Christ? What about Jesus Christ?
Wow.
It's Good Friday.
Good Friday,
It's
Jan.
God's Friday.
Good Friday.
It's Holy Friday. That Italian Pontius
Lord
Pilate.
Savior.
Satanist.
Jeez Louise.
Satanist. I'm talking about television.
Oh, okay,
TV.
Which programming?
No, he hasn't been
We're not even
the channel.
Not even getting into it. But God bless you,
God
Dan.
bless you,
And we're-
Dan.
Hey, we're proud of you, Dano.
Way to go, Dan.
Just know that we saw it.
I'm very thankful for every single opportunity that you have ever given me. I never take it for granted.
It's not about the opportunity. It's just I feel like we properly shit talked you into becoming the analyst that you have become. Because you remember those first couple of times. Jeez,
Truth to that.
Louise. Jeez. You were breaking down these clips on Twitter.
Do you remember the first thing you told me?
I couldn't even fathom. I'm excited to hear what it was.
You were like, dude, you sound like you're asleep. Bring me some energy.
I try to, hey, listen, you do bring the juice.
Yeah.
You are fantastic. And we've always been believers in Dano. That's why when everybody starts cooking, you're always like, whoa.
Slow down.
That's Orlovsky's been Orlovsky this entire time. Yeah. Let's not act like he's doing anything differently. We're proud of you, Dano. Thank you, Schrager, putting our guy on.
Thank you, Pete.
Thank you, Shrags. We appreciate that. Anyways, Dano, let's talk a little ball here. We just looked at the odds for who's going where. Caleb Williams, number 2 overall pick, plus 4,000 right now, okay? For him to go number 1 overall, minus 8,000, which is, very, very, very strong odds saying Caleb Williams is going to be the number 1 overall pick going to the Chicago Bears. You've been on the record, and I know Louis Riddick, I think you probably took the take from him.
Yep.
Saying Jaden Daniels is the best quarterback. We watch it.
Yep.
We watch it.
It was awesome.
So cool. It's so cool whenever, because Louis Riddick, scout, great mind, football mind, and you're on a split screen with Greeny, one of your 3 guys, with Greeny, and Greeny goes, now, Louis Riddick, I know you've been saying something that's much smarter than anybody else. You've been saying Jaden Daniels is the best quarterback in this draft, and Dan is starting to erupt on the other side. I've been saying this for like 3 months. Do you still feel that way after watching all the pro days and everything like that? And do you think the Chicago Bears have any chance of drafting Jaden Daniels? And what's up with his elbow?
Yeah, so I still feel that way. There hasn't even been a moment when I've second guessed it, to be honest with you. Like,
this is not a shot at Caleb.
No, it's not. I think Caleb is tremendously talented. I think the way I look at it is this, Pat. Like, okay, it depends organizationally. Are you of the philosophy, hey, at a minimum, when you're taking that guy early, we need a quarterback that worst case scenario, we're going to win a lot of games with him. Okay, like we're going to win a lot of games with. Now, that's usually a rare situation because your roster is so bad. You need talent to overcome that, so you got to win games because of him. And I think like with the top teams, that's what I've said is a little bit unique in this draft is like Chicago, I've said it, really good place. I think Washington is a solid place for a quarterback to go to. New England's the one that I sit there and go, they need a lot of help roster-wise. And then when Minnesota goes up, that's a great place to go. So I say at a minimum, Jaden Daniels at worst case scenario is going to be a quarterback you win a lot of games with, just because he's very like routine based. He's repeatable. He's got great mechanics, very talented, and obviously unbelievably athletic. You're going to win a lot of games with a quarterback like that, as long as his character is what everyone says it is. Okay, I don't know the guy, but as long as his character is what everyone says it is. The thing with Caleb is there's the chance you're going to win a lot of games with Caleb. Like there's the chance because his talent is very, very unique. There's also a chance that if he doesn't get better at some of the things that are going to hold him back, you're not going to win a lot of games with him. And that's the risk that you're going to roll the dice on. Now, again, everyone says Caleb's character is fantastic. Teammates love him. He's all ball. I got a text yesterday from a dude who was like, yo, this dude is all ball. But I think that like I go back to this, man. I go back to this. Caleb, I don't think had a game that was like the Missouri game for Jaden or the Florida game or the Alabama game. And I know that Jaden didn't have a Notre Dame game. And I go back to Notre Dame game all the time. And I understand it's different. But like the Notre Dame game has to, if I was Chicago and I was Ryan Poles, I would watch that game over and over and over because he bails from the pocket a lot. Excuse me. He bailed from the pocket a lot up the middle. He threw him a bunch of different pressures that he struggled with.
Is that Shreds?
Didn't have a great, no, it's my buddy. Didn't have a ton of great pressures that he had a plan for and threw a lot of balls fading backwards. A lot of different NFL looks. That's why I sit there and I go like, I didn't see that from Jaden.
Got it. And I understand Jaden won the Heisman, as did Caleb. Yep. And Caleb has been perceived as the number one overall pick for like the last 2-3 years in this particular draft class. What if Poles? Huh?
Cool. There's a chance.
What if Poles isn't? Now, Jaden Daniels has put out a tweet about his elbow. My elbow is perfectly fine. Stop the cap with a hat.
Didn't someone say it's like a bursitis or something? Or
yeah. Looks disgusting.
Internet doctor, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty
he throws it fine, dude.
Yeah, and also,
for now.
Look, the body fat's got to be below 2-3% to get that type of definition on the elbow, bicep, tricep situation. And he does spin it. I mean, watching his pro day, that ball's coming. You see Brian Kelly's head almost
pro
explode?
day was pretty good.
Yeah, pro day was very good. Anyways, go ahead, AJ.
Dana, what about J.J. McCarthy? We're hearing a lot of good things about him, depending on who you talk to around the league. We know this time of the year. What kind of pro do you think he becomes, and what kind of system does he need to be in?
Yeah, JJ is Kirk Cousins to me. You know, JJ is a Dak Prescott to me. Like I feel really confident. Maybe not as like a dynamic as touch thrower as a Matt Ryan, but he's very similar. That's why, again, I sit there and I go, it depends philosophically, organizationally, what you are really looking for in the quarterback. Because you have to be real. Everyone's, there's Patrick Mahomes. Cool. Go find the greatest player in the history of the game type of thing. JJ is very, very confident in his ability. He makes hard things look very, or difficult things look very easy. He's done more when it comes to get to the line of scrimmage. I got to get us out of bad plays, into run checks. Who's the mic? Very pro style stuff. That's why yesterday on First Take, they were like, who's the most NFL ready? I hate that statement. I don't care who's the most NFL ready. You're supposed to find the guy who you think's going to be really good over his career. But JJ's the guy that you sit there and go, if you had to take him today and you gave him a game plan for a week and it was a Kyle Shanahan, Matt LaFleur, Sean McVay type of game plan, who's the guy that you think could go and operate it right now at a good level? It's JJ McCarthy because of all the responsibility he had in college. Now, I don't think that JJ has that ability or talent right now to be the guy that you win a ton of games because of. Now, again, there's 3, 4, 5 of those on the planet. So that's why you sit there and go, well, is it McCarthy going to be overdrafted? If he goes to the top 5, yes. But he's also going to be a guy that
we don't know
good offensive line, play action pass game. Like you're gonna get a good quarterback, that is a top 10, top 12 player.
Hey, Brock Purdy gets drafted in top 5. He's not overdrafted, right?
No, not at all. God, no. And it's funny, dude. I go back 2 years ago to the draft. You know the name Anthony Becht. Anthony Becht texted me one day. Used to play tight end for the Jets in West Virginia. Yeah. Used to work at ESPN. He texted me before the draft. He was like, explain to me how a guy that had all this statistical accumulation, won this much, all these starts in college, isn't going to get drafted higher. And I was like, who are you talking about? And he was like, Brock Purdy. And Becht, obviously had it greased. So
he's a homer, though.
His kid played up there.
JJ,
he does. He starts there right now.
Yeah. But also he's coaching the St. Louis Battlehawks.
True.
UFL this weekend. I got a feeling the Becht boys are going to be roaming and rolling this entire UFL season. I appreciate what you're saying there about JJ, though, because if you said he could do all the responsibilities he had at Michigan. Remember, Saban told us that, like, Michigan coming out of the huddle, that was the first team that came out of the huddle against us. And then the shifts and the amount, like the pre-snap.
That's a lot, man.
Yes, JJ had to handle a lot. And then you start thinking about that Miami team with what Tua has to kind of handle pre-snap. JJ seemingly can handle all of that right now. It's such a roll of the dice on all of them.
Yeah.
It is. And it's, we got to speak as if we're matter-of-facting it all, which I appreciate. And Dan, you do that. That's your thing.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm confident in the things that I see. Doesn't mean I'm never going to be wrong, but
that's because that's what Shrek saw in you.
Dude,
amen.
It's a roll the dice.
Greeny, too.
He did. He saw it in you.
It's a roll the dice. It's a roll the dice, yes, but, like, it's not as extreme a roll the dice as, the NFL makes it out to be. Like, everyone goes, where's the best place for Drake May? Whoever is going to sit him for 2 years. I don't care the team.
Now it's 2
years.
2 years. 2 years. Jeez, I'm going to be 40.
Yeah. Yeah?
No.
You're 38?
No, I'm 36, but I would round
get
it up.
yeah.
If I'm
Dog
38, I'm 40.
years go fast.
I'm 38, I'm 40, all of a sudden. Next thing
Nah, 2 years. You got to sit him for 2 years, man. You have to. Like, you have to, or these. That's why it becomes a dice roll.
Yeah, what about 1 year? Not enough.
I thought 1 year. 1 year could get it done.
I mean, yeah, so AJ, my response to that is this. Could it be 1 year? Sure. I don't know the young man. So, like, I don't know who's gonna draft him. How much is he gonna develop? I don't. No, I'm saying I'm shooting on the like conservative side. Minimum 1 year, yes. And if you told me, hey, this dude's got awesome work ethic, which is what everyone says, but I don't know, and he's going to have a quarterback coach and that is going to grind on his mechanics and his feet on a daily basis, and he's completely committed to that stuff, and like that's going to be the focal point of his first year as an NFL pro, then sure, I'll have a greater understanding of like, yeah. But dude, he needs it because he'll never go. Patrick had it. He'll never go get what he is capable of becoming without breaking those habits. Josh Allen had some time. I don't remember exactly how much, but I believe Josh Allen had some time. So it's like, dude, that's like everyone goes, well, Herbert didn't. Dude, Herbert was a friggin' machine coming out of college.
Well, he wasn't a starter either. Remember, the only reason he got dropped in is because Tyrod Taylor got a golf tee.
Right. But he was ready to, like, he mechanically, like, if you're not mechanically sound going into the NFL right now, I just think you make it so much harder for these guys.
You're going to get exposed to at some point.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it goes because DBs, they're running real fast.
They're quick.
They're running real fast right now. Windows are this big for some particular place. Third and what? We need it. Need to put it in this spot right here.
Time.
That's what we need. And if not, season's over.
Yeah.
Okay? And you're a bust if not. It's a wild time to be a quarterback. Go ahead, Tone Diggs.
Yeah, Dan, let's talk about speed. Let's talk about surprising speed. Penix ran a 4.5 yesterday now. He barely ever runs, so I don't know how much he's going to use that, but it was surprising to people. And he is potentially the 5th quarterback right now. And I was looking at the draft order. Do you think he gets past Minnesota, Denver, Vegas, 11, 12, 13. And then there's people saying sleeper, Seattle, 16, Rams, 19. Like, is Penix, what do you think about Penix and where he's going to go?
Yeah, I couldn't care less that he ran 4.5.
What?
I don't think he goes. Oh, couldn't care less. I don't care. I don't care about 40 times in 4 quarters.
That's why I said he doesn't run.
Because you're slow?
Yeah,
it don't matter? What do you?
It's not a bad thing, though.
Yeah, it's a good thing. You guy can move.
Yeah, but like I don't care. It's not. I'm not going to draft him higher because of it. All right. So if Michael Penix,
I said he doesn't.
We're talking about the
that
first
guy
4
runs a
quarterbacks.
5.6. You don't care. That guy runs a 5.6. You don't care.
No, what do you watch the ball come out of his hand, dude? I don't care. I'm going to pay him to throw, not to run. So we're talking about the first 4 picks in the draft. We're talking about the first 4 picks in the draft being quarterbacks. Yeah. If not for the 4 season-ending injuries that Michael Penix has had previous to Washington, we would be talking about the top 5 picks being quarterbacks. Okay. He's that good. He's that talented. I don't think teams are going to sit there with a high level of comfort in the top. I don't think in the top like 20, 25 of the draft. Okay. I wish I was wrong.
Whoa.
And say, we are going to draft this guy with his injury history in the first round. I just think that's unfortunately like the reality. If he didn't have those injuries, we would be talking top 5 pick as far as that position and how good of a thrower he is. But that's just you talk about the dice roll. That's a massive dice roll, because if you, as the general manager, draft that guy and he, gets injured again type of thing with the history.
Yeah, you're fired. You didn't know this was coming? How do we not know this was coming? But I think what that 4-5 shows us is he's healthy.
Yeah,
That's, he's at both knees, 4-5, he's back.
Yeah,
he was able to
he's
lead the
played
team.
like 28 straight games at Washington. He didn't miss a start at Washington. So, like,
Guys,
you feel good about that. But
we got 10 seconds, Dan.
And I think, like...
Dan.
Okay.
Dan, you happy Easter, Dan. Happy Easter to the world.
Happy Easter, Dan.
We'll continue on
Happy
YouTube
Good
and
Friday.
ESPN Plus. Happy Good Friday. See you then. Way to go, Dan. You did great there.
Nice job, Dan.
You got there.
Love you guys.
No, we're not. Whoa.
Just off ESPN.
We're still on YouTube, ESPN.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't matter.
Remember, it's not TV.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't
to him.
matter.
Might as well
Yeah,
fucking
not
hang up.
yeah, it doesn't
This guy
matter.
doesn't give a shit about it.
Look at these guys.
What do you think about
I
Diddy?
take those words back,
Diddy?
then.
These guys.
Look at these guys.
Oh, here we go.
You, Shregs.
You. Shrek's like, me.
Yeah. And then he's pointing. You can see his right hand. He's pointing back at Dan.
No, he's like, no, it's you.
A little bit of you, too.
Yeah. You guys aren't you and each other right now.
What stadium is that?
The big house.
Football? It's a football stadium. Might be Gotham.
Yeah, it does look like it.
I think that's computer generated, guys.
No.
Well,
Ever go to a
better
Diddy
be,
party,
it's-
Dan?
What's that?
What did you?
Anyone ever go to a Diddy party
What'd you just
around
ask
here?
me? Jeez, dude. On Good Friday, AJ?
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
Hey,
Dan.
listen, we're happy because
There's plenty of innocent people that were around him at some point, right? I'm just wondering.
I don't know. Everybody that's photoed with him.
Dan was a.
How do you...
What's so funny?
Nothing. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be laughing.
I mean, Diddy was a huge UConn Husky football fan around
Huge.
like 2002. So
He was in the He was leading you guys out of the locker room up
yeah,
What if he did?
there? What if there's a video of Dan Orlovsky
yeah, him and Diddy
running right?
hug, dap up before.
You guys are the worst people on the planet.
No, we're
Diddy?
We're trying to give you a heads
People
up.
actually do those
We're
things.
up there, but not worse.
Anyways, let's talk about the complete opposite of what is being said about that whole story. Like the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Ty has a question for you, Dano.
Yeah, Dan, just curious what kind of plans you got for Easter Sunday. We talked a little bit earlier. You kind of strike me as an Easter Vigil guy, but I don't want to be presumptuous. So what are you and the fam doing this weekend to celebrate our Lord and Savior's resurrection?
Attaboy, bud. So my
Ty went
wife
to
has her
Catholic
family
school.
up in
We'll have
town.
you know. We'll have you know.
Attaboy, Ty.
Yeah, okay.
Ty, were you an altar boy?
At a young age, yes, I was.
Oh, what are you saying?
Hey!
Diddy the altar boy.
If
Jeez
I-
Louise.
Now that was back. That was
if I
back
had
with
to beg
Easter.
one of you guys.
Yeah, that was back when priests were just
Hey,
booze bags.
Come on, what are we talking about, Dan?
Jeez, guys,
We
what
need
are
to
we
laugh.
doing
Diddy
here?
the altar boy,
Hey,
the peg. Dan, really?
Easy,
In,
Dan.
brother.
Listen, Easter combo.
Jeez.
We're trying to talk about
Connor,
Jesus.
you are-
What's going
You are
on?
the worst, man.
Man.
God.
You are the worst, dude.
It's not
You
us
are
saying
the
it.
worst.
Pagan, dude.
Hey, you read the transcript back. It's you.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Write this out.
Jesus Christ came out of the cave on Sunday.
We are my wife's family is up from Philly. They're actually the boys went and played like some pickup lacrosse and football, so I'm here to go pick them up. We're gonna watch the games this afternoon, and then the boys have a big lacrosse game tomorrow at 11:30 versus a really good team.
Good luck.
Good luck, boys.
Come on, boys.
And then Easter, we'll do church in the morning, but we do church basically every Sunday morning, and then some Easter dinner at the house.
Nice.
Are you doing a 3-hour one?
No. Just an hour and 10 service.
Yep.
type
How
thing.
come you guys
No
don't ever
long
want to go to the show? How come you?
No. The Easter Vigil
think
is
they're-
a commitment.
Yeah, to the Lord.
Yeah, in Catholic Church. I also think in the Black church community you'll get extended service time like that. But
Why
I don't-
Christmas,
not in the
Easter,
church.
right? These are the big ones.
I mean, I would make the claim that every time that you go into church is a big one. But
Hell yeah.
for those
Okay.
holidays, yeah.
There it is.
Well
There you go.
said.
God bless
God.
you, man. God bless you.
God, that's the best answer
on,
you've
Pat.
ever given.
Here we go.
I can't believe we're high horsing about Jesus Christ right now. But this weekend, it's just like every other weekend. Jesus Christ is risen. He's risen. He's risen. He has risen. He did rise. He is rising. What do we say?
He has risen.
He is risen.
It is finished. Today it is finished. And then Sunday he is risen.
But what if he didn't, though?
He will.
Well, if he didn't, then
You're not Catholic. Or
if he didn't, no, I mean, if he didn't, then a lot of my life has been impacted in a positive way for.
No.
But
Okay,
if he did-
amen. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about it in general, like way back. I'm talking about the way I read it when everybody does like. I might be misunderstanding some people's uber religious feelings.
Sure.
People think Jesus Christ coming back.
I'm not religious.
Right? Dan, you read the Bible last week on the show, which we got no problem with. We actually love
sweet.
it. We actually love it.
That doesn't make someone religious, though.
What's it?
Okay. All right. I didn't know we're doing this again. I had no idea we're back on our horse. That religion was created by man. So I am not about religion.
Right.
Yeah, I've seen the memes. I've seen them. I've seen you guys post them. I get it. I get the whole thing. And
It's not that he is risen on Sunday. It's that Sunday represents when he is risen. Because when he actually comes back, that'll
be a day.
Is there like
that's
a
the
time?
end of days, brother.
So like my daughter, I think 7:15 a.m.
Sure.
Is there a time in which he popped out of the cave that everybody does the?
That's a good question.
He's dead. He is risen.
I don't know if we. Nah, I don't know if we're on the exact time, but
like 3:33.
You better be on the right side of you better be on the right side when it comes. You know.
Hey Dano, you need to get off that horse, maybe.
Yeah, geez.
If he's coming back,
I'm just
be a little too
you're gonna have
petty.
to get the ladder and come all the way back down here. You know, Jesus is gonna be like,
I'm just.
will you get off that horse? Will you come down here? They said they found a photo of you on the internet with what AJ was bringing up.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
What's going on?
Oh no.
What?
Dan.
You're saying you to Diddy?
Dan.
You.
This ain't good.
That's not good.
Dan.
All right, let's take it off the screen. We don't want to do it. We want to help Dan.
He's drinking Ciroc vodka too.
Since 2017.
Yeah, that's his favorite drink.
That's a wild shit going on, dude. You get trapped in one thread,
It's the best.
and then you're there. It's like, whoa, I didn't know this is.
You better settle in.
Holy hell, I've been watching too much sports and wrestling, I think. I haven't been paying attention.
Ooh, is Monday Night Raw at the Barclays Center, bub?
Is that where Brooklyn is? Is that in Brooklyn?
Yeah.
Yep, that's where we're at.
Yes.
Monday. Are you coming?
I had a buddy of mine who's a diehard fan text me if I wanted to go. I told him I'm thinking about it.
Look at you
It's
now.
sold out.
Yeah.
Sold out.
Acknowledge your tribal
The
chief,
final
Dan.
boss is going to be there, too.
Look at you now, Dan.
That's what happens when you fuck
With the final boss. Nope.
Put the gotta put your
No.
Put your one up.
Gotta put your ones up, Dan.
We got Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, on the show next Friday.
Whoa! That is
Great
Becky
song.
Lynch. That is Becky Lynch, Tony.
Are you Cody Crybaby, Dan?
Yeah, whose side are you on? Are you a Cody guy or are you a Bloodline
You
guy?
acknowledge your tribal chief.
Look it up.
I love the American
I'm a
Nightmare.
bloodline guy, dude.
Bullshit. There is no way you're not a Cody crybaby.
Well, especially on Easter weekend, everybody's Bloodline, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a bloodline guy.
By the way, it was still dark
Hold
when
it
Mary
up.
Magdalene went to the tomb and saw that the stone had been removed from the entrance.
So it's early.
Yeah,
Correct.
3:33 a.m., baby.
Okay. I bet you everybody's mind was blown.
Yeah, they were. It says it right here.
You think?
Holy shit.
You know, how, like when Chris Angel took that,
Ooh.
the bottom half of that body,
Yeah.
Very
Moved
similar
it.
situation.
Yeah.
moved it,
That's how
we were
it's
all like,
done.
holy shit.
When he
That was
floated
the
Shaq,
reaction.
he
Yeah,
turned Shaq into a
levitated
balloon.
Shaq over his house.
Over his
That's
house.
literally the only thing I can compare it to
Into a balloon.
in the time, finding out
Pretty
the guy
similar.
that you just saw Pontius
Yeah, but
Pilate
it would be
kill.
like everybody telling the world 1,500 years ago who Chris Angel was and exactly what he was going to do,
Sure.
and then it happening.
Wow.
Hey, that was a good wink, too. That was good. Hey,
Thanks, bub.
Dano,
What's up, buddy?
God bless you.
God bless you too, bro.
Let's remember, get that tweet out on Sunday. He is.
Risen.
Amen. I acknowledge my tribal chief.
Yep.
I'm excited for Easter. And what Easter represents for me is the family coming together.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Pastel colors everywhere. It's
Maybe,
super.
maybe
it feels
Easter
good.
egg hunt.
Happy.
Yeah,
It feels
definitely
good.
Easter egg hunt.
Easter's it's a feel
Easter
good.
egg hunt.
Honey
Yeah.
baked ham.
Hey, so Easter is Super Bowl, Christmas, conference championship games, or are we talking the other way around?
Great question. Well, no, Easter is absolutely the Super Bowl for sure. That's the thing that differentiates.
Let him know, Dan.
Jesus from basically everybody else.
The guy wouldn't have been alive if he didn't have the other one.
Yeah, but the difference between Jesus and everyone else is that he rose.
Also, when he was born in that barn from
The ultimate.
Everyone's been born.
Stable.
Yep. A little smaller in the barn.
Good
Very
word
tight
right there.
quarters.
It was tight quarters. I seen it in front of like the one church at one time.
Exactly. No
Also,
room at the end.
Easter's always on Sunday, so is the Super Bowl. Christmas not always on Sunday.
True.
To be honest with you, Pat, you act more like on a daily basis a Christian than a lot of people do.
Yeah.
And also with you, brother.
True.
And also with you, brother. And also with you. I appreciate that. That means a lot. That really does feel good. All right, we're going to get to a break. Dan, thank you so much, man. You made me feel good on this Feel Good Friday.
I owed you one, but I do mean it.
Oh, yeah, you remember when he tweeted and said, we're
Peter
nothing to
Schrager
him.
is my God.
He said that?
That's how I read it.
No, Jesus Christ.
You can't say that.
Well, I mean, he didn't list Jesus
Yo, you
Christ
know
in
what?
his
I was
top
actually
three.
going to say this to you guys. Again, I was going to say this to you guys. One thing real quick. I do find it impressive.
Thank you.
And admirable that you guys spend so much time with each other, and it still at least publicly seems that you guys like each other.
Well, you should see when the cameras are off.
Oh, buddy. It's Royal Rumble in here. So
You guys are with each other all the time, it feels like.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good group. That's why it's tough to hire.
That's a good group. That's awesome, man. Like that, I find that to be very cool. You work together, you hang together. That's a good group. Good people,
Fellowship.
good friends.
Great fellowship, Dan.
It is
That's what
good fellowship.
Thank you, Dan.
Brotherhood.
Brothers, Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brother.
I think it's cool.
It's like our own bloodline.
We acknowledge it.
I think it's cool.
No, we know how stupid it is what we're doing, so I don't think anybody's like, hey, I'm going to come in here as a fucking piece of shit today.
Yeah.
Nobody does that. It's we're pretty lucky to be doing what we're doing. So, yeah, we enjoy that. That is a good compliment. Hey, we will take that compliment.
Yeah.
Because
Thank
it
you,
is.
Dan.
I think it is. We appreciate. And Dan, if you were to ever travel out here, like our friend Kendrick Perkins,
Yeah.
you know, he hops on a plane, flies all the way out here.
Yeah, Big Perk came.
Big Perks out right there.
You didn't
Imagine
come.
that. Imagine Dan coming out here.
That'd be awesome.
it
He'd be
is
so
Thunderdome.
sweet in the
We've been
Thunderdome,
talking.
Dan.
We've been talking to him since what? 2017.
Come on,
Yeah.
Dan.
Since
that
before
what you
Schrager.
Come see us, buddy.
Think about that.
Schrager didn't even know he
I'd just
existed. Schrager called him the guy that ran out of the back of the end zone.
We knew him when he was Daniel.
Jeez, we had to do that today, huh? On Good Friday. I would be interested to know if I've ever sent a text to Pat being like, "Hey, I want to come and have a day every single week during the football season." I wonder if I've ever sent that text.
I don't think you said you'd come.
I doubt it.
I don't think you said, hey, I'd take a trip to Indianapolis.
I absolutely have.
Well, unfortunately, the field goal posts have changed when it comes to that.
Go on.
Well, I don't think I can.
Okay. Hey, listen, Dano, next year, if you're willing, now we know you're on TV 8 hours a day during the football
And God willing, you shall.
So much.
season. And God willing,
Come on.
you shall. Why don't you come on out once a week? Come on. We'll have Dan Orlovsky time.
Day.
Dan Day.
It's the Dan Dome.
Will Connor be there?
The Dan Dome.
What's that, buddy?
Will Connor be there?
No, if you're coming in, I'm up.
Nah, he has to be there, yeah. Yeah, he's not just going to not show up to work.
Yeah, what is this?
Say what's up, dudes.
Second grade?
What's up, dude?
Hey, how are you? Happy
Chucky.
Good Friday. We got a big tournament I heard this weekend. Let's go, boys.
Yes, sir.
You got to fix
Just the
back
singular
there.
games. Yes, sir. I like
Deep
that
ass
response.
point.
Who's the yes sir right there?
So, man, what's going on, Pat?
What's up, dude?
Hell yeah.
How are you doing?
Good, thanks. How about yourself?
Hey, things are fantastic. All right.
You got to fix that kid's brim, Dan.
No, he looks good.
Back left.
good.
No, not
No,
you,
no,
brother.
you
back
back
left.
No, you all look good.
Yeah, that
flat
one.
brim?
Yeah. Let's curl
He
it.
loves the flat brim.
No, yeah, you look cool, bro. Keep doing your thing.
It's like Big J.
That's a tendency.
All right. We appreciate you guys. Dan, happy Easter, pal. He is risen on Sunday.
Happy Easter, boys.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter,
Easter,
Happy
boys.
Easter.
Very
All right.
polite
Good luck in
children,
that
Dan.
tournament, ladies and gentlemen. Dan Orlovsky. Thank you.
Those are well-behaved kids.
So, did we know about? So, who's the?
Which part?
That's
Yeah,
a cousin, I think. Isn't that what you said? The cousins
Either
are
that
up in
or-
Philly?
Yes, family.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was about to say I ain't ever seen.
I
that
know
one.
Dan had an 18-year-old son.
Me neither.
Deep fucking voice, yeah.
Need to get him on the mic.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Happy Easter, AJ.
Happy Easter to you guys.
We're learning a lot about Easter today, aren't we?
I mean, I've learned so much already today.
Yeah, because every time I see him go, he is risen. Where is he? Like, well, you're just referring to back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Now, he rose 2 days AD?
I guess technically, yeah.
Okay. Wow. So today, back in time, is when the zero started.
Yeah.
Yep.
AD, 1 day AD would be tomorrow.
4 years ago.
It's crazy.
Today?
It's crazy.
Well said.
Time started.
Hey, on this day in history?
Boom.
Holy
Bring it back.
shit.
Bring it back.
The year started.
Way to go, time. Right? Yep. Happy anniversary.
Exactly.
Joining us now is a man who we love.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He joined us in Utah. Was electrifying. Electrifying. See him on NFL Network breaking down film. He was live at the UNC Pro Day just yesterday, watching Drake May do his thing. NFL icon, ladies and gentlemen, Steve Smith Sr.
Yeah,
Steve, happy Good Friday. Happy Easter around the bend. We've been learning a lot. Steve. We've been learning a lot. Yep. Yep. We're talking to you. Happy Good Friday.
How you doing, man?
Hey, happy Good Friday to you. And I hope the Easter weekend for the Smith family is fantastic. And with that being said, is Drake May an NFL quarterback or not? You sat next to him. You saw him. You talked to him. You watched him.
What?
We had Dan Orlovsky on. He said he needs to sit for a year or two. Then we saw Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner said some of these guys need to work on some of their footsteps and their technique, and Drake May maybe being one of them. What are your thoughts after watching him up close and personal? How did he handle the pro day, Steve?
I thought he did a really, really good job. I mean, when you look at some of these other guys who are doing their pro days, they're throwing 30 or 40 passes. Man, this dude did a full workout. He threw 60 to 70 passes. He went through a lot of different throws. You know, every quarterback, they're going to show the big arm throws. But I loved he showed the touch, right? He showed the intermediate throws. He threw in the red zone, some play action on the move. Does he need to sit? Probably. I mean, normally the teams that are up at the top in the top five in picking and need quarterbacks. Newsflash, that's not a complete team. That's not a team that is vibing for or fighting for the Super Bowl next year or the top seed. So I do think there is a little bit of growth because these guys are not finished products, and that's good. You don't want a finished product that you discover is that's not finished when you get them in your building.
Yeah, we want a ceiling to hunt for. You know, we would like a little bit of progression when you get in there. I'm intrigued. The conversation around Drake has been a lot of that. I didn't know he threw 70 balls.
No idea.
We had no idea that he did that. And obviously, we thought we were covering it as well. He wanted to showcase everything. You think that's why he did that, Steve?
He did. He was sweating. Like when I say sweating, he was like, you could tell he was doing a real workout. It wasn't the underwear Olympics that we normally see. Like, it wasn't out there. He was out there really. It was really going into it. So it was pretty impressive to watch, especially when I've been at some of these other pro days where there has been a little bit of eye candy throws. There have been some things that you go, oh, that was a bad pro day. He gave you a sense of who he is as a quarterback, the flashes of what he could be, but he also has some inerrant throws that you go, okay, he's human.
Yeah.
And so you got to see that, and I was pretty impressed with that. But the big thing that I always walk away with as a former wide receiver is I don't want to see the big throws. I want to see when I'm running across the middle and there's an A.J. Hawk right there who's going to try to knock my head off. Will the quarterback give me a nice, soft pass with some touch? And he did that.
Okay.
And I think sometimes people don't always look at those little nuances because they haven't been on the back end of a 5-yard underneath route that the quarterback throws at 100 miles per hour. And now I got to catch it and at the same time protect myself from that linebacker who's coming to hunt me down.
Go ahead, AJ.
Steve, I know you study wideouts in college, NFL, everybody. When you watch some of these wideouts in their pro days, what are you looking for? Like, what little details do you want to see these guys do?
Thank you for asking me that, AJ.
Hey, AJ, that's a good question, AJ. That's a good question, AJ.
Let's go.
Happy Good Friday.
Happy Easter.
Well, it's Good Friday today. Let's celebrate. It's the
Well,
start.
well, Dan.
He is risen.
What I'm looking at.
Sorry, Steve. We're figuring out Easter as we go here.
Hey, I figured it out. What I'm looking at, I look at everything. I look at I'm looking at their feet and their stance. Do they have false movement? Is their stance too long or too short? Where are their hands? How do they release? Do they take false steps? Do they have to reload before they actually go forward? I'm looking at every aspect. Do they get in and out of their breaks? How do they break down? Do they come back? Are they fighting the football? Do they attack the football? Or are they sitting back and trying to let the football get into their chest? Because being a former wide receiver, at times, the football comes into your chest or you catch the ball with your body. Because this is a big stage and everybody's watching, you don't want to drop the football. So that tells me there's a little bit of maybe you not inconsistent with your hands or insecure. Maybe you just are worried that I may not catch that pass. And so I just look at those little nuances. So I'm watching everything, and then I'll watch all of their film. Like, not the film that just this year, but back yonder when they were a freshman and when they were a sophomore and they were a junior, because just like Xavier Legette from South Carolina, I like him. He's a good player. But he had 67 first downs in his whole career, played college 5 years. 47 of those first downs were only last year. So that means the last 20 or so were divided up over a 4-year span. So my question is can he play? But is this a contract year where you get the best from the player because the most is on the line, which is that money? Or are we getting a player that this is who he is? And I don't really know yet, because he had this his senior year, and he kind of had this the last 4 years. So I just want to see which Xavier Legette are we getting. And I think somewhere in the middle would be okay, and I think teams will love that.
I appreciate that that's how you're viewing these things. Thank you for the angle in which you're looking at film. I thought you were going to say, like, I'll go back yonder and I'll watch, does this person get better? How's the work ethic look like? Because that is, I guess, a good indicator on work ethic, is the development from year 1 through year 4 or year 3. I appreciate that you're doing all that for us, Dan. Now, this goes directly to the wide receiver question that is certainly brewing. Marvin Harrison Jr. doesn't do anything. He did medical, I think, at Combine, but he didn't do any of the workouts. Pro Day didn't do any of the workouts. We've been told, potentially from sources close to the camp, that they didn't want to do the track training. We're doing football, okay? We're not taking times away from the jugs machine to learn how to do a 40-yard dash starting stance. Like, we're doing football. Watch the film. And then you got other guys who aren't Marvin Harrison Jr. and aren't, with that type of profile, who've had to run it all. You got Neighbors running real fast. You got Roma Dunze doing his thing. Is there a clear number one here? Is Marvin Harrison Jr. still clear number one guy because it is legacy? He's basically been and known what an NFL lifestyle is like his entire life. He's been able to prove it on the field. Or is there guys that are like Neighbors, who was with the Heisman last year, obviously, who have done all the workouts and maybe transition better into the NFL? Like, what are your thoughts on the top of the wide receiver class right now?
The top of the wide receiver class, my opinion, doesn't mean anything, because the top 3, top 4 guys, they are what they are because they've earned that by what they put on tape. When you're starting to talk about who should go first, who should go second, I get a little stuck, because all 3, 4 of those guys deserve to go there because of the impact that they have on their college team, and then what the impact you potentially believe they will have in the National Football League and the teams that possibly will snag them. But you can't go wrong with any of these guys. Marvin Harrison Jr., he doesn't have to prove anything, because we've been talking about it for the last 2.5, 3 years. We were talking about when JSN was coming out of college at Ohio State. We were talking about, hey, JSN, great player. Well, Marvin Harrison Jr. is the guy. So it all depends on, when you're talking to each team, how they value each guy and where do they put them positionally. The thing with Neighbors and Marvin Harrison Jr. is Marvin Harrison is a ZY receiver, which means he can't play on the boundaries. He can't create necessarily his own free release day one. Over time, he will. But Neighbors is a X who can get off off the line of scrimmage. Marvin Harrison can too, but they will be utilized differently in each offense, and each team will value them differently. So it's really, what are you shopping for at the grocery store? Do you prefer chicken or steak? They're both hell of a great proteins. You need each one of them for your meal to be complete. So just, happy picking.
Are you going A1? Are you going hot sauce tonight? It's we got to decide which one you want there. Situations are situational. I appreciate hearing that. And also, how much better do guys get? Guys can get much better, right? Because it feels like these younger guys coming into the NFL right now I guess we're just thinking about Justin Jefferson immediately, but like as soon as Justin Jefferson got into the league, it was like, there's a guy. And it feels like the wide receiver position has gotten younger and gotten better. Is it 7-on-7s? Is it 1-on-1s? Is it the style of football being played where people are in and out more contested catches are expected at a younger age than it's ever been? But it's like these guys, young, they're going to be able to be difference makers, you think, all these guys? And they're only going to get better from there? Or are guys at their peak at the wide receiver position earlier than maybe other spots?
I don't think they're at their peak. I believe that some of these wide receivers are a lot more undeveloped coming out of college than they have been before because there's so much emphasis on the pass game. The pass game now, you got these 7-on-7s. You got the underwear Olympics pretty much from middle school all the way up to college. You look at their pro days, there's the underwear Olympics. Really, it depends on whatever organization you go to. How good is their wide receivers coach? How good is their head coach? How good is their offensive coordinator? Do they understand the type of player that they have? Is he an in-breaking route runner? Or is he an out-breaking route runner? Will you put him at X or will you put him at Z? Will you foolishly put him at F? Is he a slot guy that can only play in the slot, but you got him foolishly playing outside? It just really depends on, do you know the type of player you are, and do you know where he will fit in your offense? And sometimes that's why grabbing the best player at that position isn't necessarily great, because you can cannibalize your own team by drafting a Z or X wide receiver, and you have a dominant Z or X wide receiver. So someone has to move over. Is it the old head who's in the locker room already that has to make room for the rookie? Or is there the rookie who has to move out of position because there's the old head who's making so much money, still productive, that isn't moving and shouldn't move because he just made the Pro Bowl? So it's one of those things. It's a rich person problem, right? It's hey, which car do I drive? It's a nice sunny day. Do I drive the expensive truck or do I hit the convertible? But if you have those luxuries, man, it's a win for the rich people.
Yeah, it certainly is. We had one of those issues. We had T.Y. Hilton, and we drafted Philip Dorsett. And it was like Philip Dorsett never hit with us. Why? Well, because T.Y. and Andrew Luck were one of the greatest tandems in football whenever they were rolling, and they were trying to put Phil into T.Y. Like, it was just, we already have that. So why are we doing that? And those things happen all the time. I'm excited to see which situations these guys fall into. And who do we not know about? Tone's got a question for you, Steve.
Yeah, Steve, I know you've been watching the tape because I've seen you doing it. You talked about the big four. I assume four is Brian Thomas Jr. After that, who do you think the next wide receiver to go, or do you have a sleeper that you like already in the draft process?
Well, when I do these breakdowns, it's funny. Everybody says, "Oh, that's my sleeper." So I don't, I don't really know, what sleepers are anymore, because everybody who thinks of a guy is their sleeper. But I got my list right here, and the guys that I really like. I was at Thrash's Pro Day. He's at Louisville. I like him. I like Baker, UCF. The guy that I really, really like, who is surprisingly moving up, and I have him highly ranked above some of these other guys, and depending on what school and who you're a fan of, you might be offended, but hey, it happens. That's what I do, right? Jalen Coker from Holy Cross. I have him ranked as my 18th wide receiver on my list, and I have about 37 guys that I've ranked. I have him number 18 because, man, I just love the way he runs routes. He's not a fast guy. He runs a 4.57. His first at the 40, he ran a 4.6. Then he ran a 4.57. What I really like about him is, yes, he doesn't play good competition, but the competition he has played, I watched his film against Boston College. He's not super fast, but he knows why he's running the route. And that's the part I look at and watch wide receivers. Don't tell me how fast you can run. I love asking a wide receiver, what's your favorite route? And I always say, a go route is not a route, because a go is me running fast from point A to point B, and hopefully the quarterback can get there. But when you have a guy pressed or he's off and you're not fast, do you know how to get in and out of your break? Do you know why you're leveraging the guy? If he's running underneath and you have a linebacker, do you go underneath at the back towards the line of scrimmage, or do you give him that indicator step up towards his high shoulder, and then when that linebacker turns, do you run underneath him and able to use your hands, the fist fight in the phone booth, to get past those guys? And he understands that. He knows his why.
What's his
He knows
guy's
how
name?
to get open.
Coker?
Jalen Coker from Holy Cross.
Great work in the back there with your vid.
Yeah.
Great work right there. ZD, Foxy, good work, baby. Jalen Coker.
That's great. I mean, they pulled that out. It didn't even know. So
Yeah,
I like that.
that's
clutch.
As the video was coming up, I was listening to what you were saying, but in my head, I'm like, who the hell had that bag? That is phenomenal work in the back room there.
He's actually my sleeper.
He's your sleeper? Oh, yeah, so this isn't a sleeper. Not a sleeper.
He's not your sleeper anymore. Agent 89 just mentioned him.
Brought him to life. Where's Lad McConkey at? 37 ranked. Where's Lad McConkey at?
Okay, dang, man, you get me in trouble. Number 7.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Okay. What he ran, a 4.3 something?
Yeah, 4.38 or something. Yeah.
4.3.
Yeah, he was moving.
Yeah, moving. Hey, it was good to see. It was good to see, Steve. You know what I'm talking about. It was good to see. Cooper DeJean, too?
Yeah, that's it.
Hey, they're saying he's going to be 4.3, too. Cooper DeJean. Hey, good to see you, Steve.
Oh, man, stop it. Stop it. Don't get me in trouble.
I'm like, you good. You want to say something? You have something to say, Steve?
No, I have nothing to say. I have nothing to say.
What do you think we're talking about? What are you talking about? What is going on?
I'm not going there, Pat.
I think
We're
Ricky
not
Mercer
going
ran a 4.3 too.
Who's that?
Yeah, he did. Ricky Pearsall from Florida. He was at Arizona State with JT Daniels at Arizona State. I got him ranked 14.
Okay.
When you dropped that Holy Cross guy at 17 or whatever it was, I did not know we
18.
were. I didn't know we had a 37 person. How many first rounders are there? How many first? Because we're doing the draft spectacular. How many wide receivers?
It's about 6. It's about 6. It'll be 6 guys in the first round.
And we'll know them. I'll know who they are.
Yeah. I can. You got Harrison. Neighbors, Rome, Brian Thomas Jr., A.D. Mitchell, and coming up at number 6, you got Worthy. Xavier Worthy, because he ran that 4.21.
Okay, that's good news. Fast. All right, well, Steve, we appreciate the hell out of you.
Hey, whoa. Keenan Coleman, he's dropped. He's dropped for me.
Really? Keon Coleman? How come? He's a specimen, right? I mean,
he's a physical specimen. He's outstanding. The unfortunate part at the combine, his field work just wasn't as clean as some of these other guys. And so he's dropping. Physically, you want him on your team. His film is outstanding, but in person, he wasn't as dynamic as I was expecting. So people have him dropping a little bit. I have him at number 11.
Outside top 10 for this draft class. Keon Coleman, you heard that. Little motivation. What do you got popping off this weekend? Big Easter weekend, huh? Big weekend.
It's been cold. It's been a little chilly, so wifey's warming up the pool right now, and so we're gonna do the pool on Saturday, and then my Clips are in town playing the Hornets, so we're gonna see them on Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening.
Okay, so you're a Clippers fan? I heard we're good right now.
Oh, well, right.
Yeah. Oh, what you mean we?
Well, I'm saying if I was a Clipper, we know Coach, so don't you worry about that.
Okay.
Yeah, I know Coach over there.
All right.
Shook hands with me.
Yeah. No, I've been
TV.
I love the Clippers, so I'm gonna watch them on Sunday. That's the only time I love the Hornets. They're a great team.
Well,
but I only really go to the Hornets game when Clip Show's in town.
Are the Hornets a great team?
I think the Hornets are a good team because I live here, and I like to make sure when I go see my Clippers play, that these Jays are touching the wood. Right?
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, you got to be there. Got to be there. All right, we appreciate you, Steve. We can't wait to talk with you hopefully in the next coming weeks as well. Are you on?
Yeah, that works. Hit me up. You got my number.
NFL Network, are you on their draft? Why do you do all this draft stuff? You do draft shows right now?
Yeah, I'm doing in studio in LA. I'm not going to Detroit, But my stuff is I just love watching film and getting these guys like grading them, like really getting in and out of the breaks of what makes them who they are. Since in the past I've gotten in trouble, so now I've taken why I've gotten in trouble and just taken it another level and say, hey, I'm going to evaluate these guys, look at them very detailed, and give you my unbiased opinion. And if people disagree, you're welcome to. When I'm right, though, people don't say anything.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, it's a thankless job, isn't it?
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Smith Sr., we appreciate you. Steve's the man.
Yes, he is.
He was great in Utah.
Great. Yeah.
I loved him out there.
Seriously.
He really did. He has like the Steve Smith tunnel or something going into the stadium.
You would think, too. At least I thought. I was like, well, Steve Smith probably a little after all these kids' generation. But, yeah, they fucking love him.
Yeah, they love Steve. He still gives back, obviously. He's a big part of Utes family. The 37.
Yeah, I like that list.
What a beast.
I got a guy at 18. I guess that would be a sleeper. Someone. Holy
How many get drafted? How many wideouts get drafted?
37. Zeke, how the hell did we find it? You just Googled that guy?
Oh, yeah. I go on this website called Tankathon, and they have the whole entire board.
Shout out to Tankathon.
Tankathon.
Hey, that Holy Cross quarterback was slinging it, though, too, whoever that was.
Yeah, did we know that Holy Cross had that style of offense?
Oh, yeah. The Satyrs have been a powerhouse.
The Satyrs.
In the
They
Patriot
go undefeated?
League for quite some time. No, Lehigh's in there. The Crusaders.
Lehigh's a good football
Yeah,
school.
they've had some trouble, but they've had a couple solid prospects coming out for a while.
Last year, 33 wideouts were taken.
Okay.
So he's right on it.
He knows them all.
And this class is deep, so.
How about, I've been called out before, so now I'm doing my research.
Yep.
Coming in the NFL, what are my thoughts on? He has his notes sitting right there. Let me see. Good in and out of breaks here.
Sleeper.
In real life, I saw him. I was like, not as good.
Yeah, Coleman.
Great.
Keon Coleman, yeah.
He
Just
was
watch
surprised.
highlights.
I want Keon Coleman for the Patriots in the second round, but now no way.
That's
Whoa.
Or hey, we might be able to grab this guy in the third round. We thought he was going to be a first rounder for how long?
He's a gamer.
The Holy Cross kid, Bruce, sent me a text. He would like me to remind everyone that Puka also ran a 4.57.
Oh, yeah. And we knew Puka coming out of BYU.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, that was a huge talk.
We talked about that on our show.
Yeah, we
AJ,
did.
were you the one who brought him up? I don't remember.
I think maybe, wasn't it Nick? Nick said something about him first, maybe.
Oh, yeah, I do remember Nick being like, hey, Oos, BYU.
Yeah.
Love the Oos.
Yeah.
Also on, I believe, last year in Mitt's mock, Mitt had Puka.
Yeah.
Pretty damn high.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen the first iteration of Mitt's mock, but I did see that he was drumming up interest from his followers on X.
Nice.
Speaking of being on X, I put out a bird call this morning. I said, hey, listen, I want to do a little Q&A with the beautiful people. The hashtag Ask the Program ended up going up to like number 8, I believe, on trends in about 10 minutes. We appreciate everybody for participating. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for hashtag Ask the Program. Let's go to Matt Aubin at Matty Westside. 2. Morning, boys. Which NFL team do you think is going to have a comeback season like the Texans last season? We appreciate you, Matt Aubin. Great question. I'm going with the Indianapolis Colts.
Nice.
They didn't make the playoffs the last few years. They're going to end up going on a run. AJ, your thoughts? What team do you think is potentially going to have a big year after having a crop year last year?
Well, we got to see this team's owner pop in the other day when we were on a show remotely. I'd say Carolina Panthers all the way.
Okay.
There we go.
Carolina Panthers doing all the right things is what AJ's saying. Con man, is it the Patriots?
I mean, I would say Patriots, but I think the Vikings. Okay. They had a bad year last year, a lot of injuries, and then they get
Remember,
one
we
guy.
thought the football gods were against them.
Yep. After being all on their side during that 13-4 season, that Justin Jefferson Bills. But yeah, I would say the Vikings.
Ty?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little bit of a layup with the Jets. You're getting Rodgers back, Mike Williams. I mean, they should be much better. I mean, they were really fucking bad last year.
Go ahead.
I'm going to stay in the same city. I'm going to go with the New York Football Giants.
Really? A lot of positive juice coming out of there.
Yeah, tons. What do you mean?
Is anything good going? Like, what are the positives?
Dimes is healthy again, and I believe in Dimes.
Brian Burns, trade for
Brian
him.
Burns.
Yeah,
Good.
Brian Burns.
They got a couple of linemen.
Defense.
Yeah.
30 years.
Runyon.
Line, yeah.
Wink Martindale's gone, though. New DC, right?
Yeah, Bowen. Darren Waller retired.
I'm not a
yet,
Wink
or-
guy, so that actually
Unknown with Waller.
Yeah, that's TBD.
Can he hurry up and decide? Like, what's the deal?
You think
He's
that's an
playing
easy
or not?
decision?
No,
Okay, Bruce.
obviously not. But like the designation time passed and everything. Like, what happens with the contract?
Just take Brock Bowers.
Bruce isn't happy.
No, he's not.
Make a fucking decision.
He's been posting on Instagram, too, about it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think any of us knew that he was potentially retiring until he told us he's potentially retiring. And we're like, damn, Darren Waller's an incredible football player. That's a bummer if he's going to retire. And then now it's like, well, he's not sure if he's going to retire. It's like, all right. Well, we hope you're still playing, Darren. We love watching you play ball, Darren Waller.
Playing, Darren.
But if you're going to retire, go ahead and do it. And the Giants are saying, let's do it a little.
Do it now.
Yeah.
For the draft.
Let's make sure we're.
About 48 hours. All right.
Let's go to the next hashtag Ask the Program. This is from Joey Kennedy, Joey Kennedy IV, actually, if he's a Roman numeral guy. Hashtag Ask the Program. What was the coolest college football game you experienced last year, and why was it definitely the Red River game? Hashtag Boomer Sooner. Now, for me, Joey, that Red River game, there was no service.
Nope.
The stadium didn't work.
Bugs on the stadium.
Bugs were wild.
Yep.
The energy, though, was palpable. For me, I think the Rose Bowl is going to be the one that I'm going to think is the most memorable because the game went to overtime. At one point, I was jogging on the field next to Nick Saban, which would inevitably be his last game coaching. The access we had, the places we were standing, and how beautiful the Rose Bowl was and the scenery. I think for me, that was it. But the Cotton Bowl was certainly an experience that I think everybody should try. AJ, how about you, pal?
Yeah, it's tough to ever put anything past the Rose Bowl. I mean, my first time out there, getting to see everything, that was cool. But the game we started the season off, Alabama, Texas, right?
Yeah,
man,
that was awesome.
Remember when they turned the lights off and they're manipulating the lights and they're singing like that? That really set the stage for the rest of the year.
And Worthy had that touchdown right in front of us, showcasing that 4.2 speed or whatever that everybody saw at the Combine. That was cool. McConaughey, obviously, always good.
Yeah,
Glenn Powell over there at the Cotton Bowl. Those megacasts have been a good time. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, those 4, because we did 4 this year in person with the Red Zone here. I always go back to Ohio State, Georgia in Atlanta. Like that, it legitimately came down to the last kick, and it's similar to the Rose Bowl, just in Atlanta. But I thought that game was electric, and it was Stroud.
I mean, as a Big Ten lad, it's tough to top, being on the field at the Rose Bowl. Obviously, seeing the stealth bomber go over top, too. I mean, that was just... And like you said, the weather was fucking perfect when we were out there, which made a huge difference.
Dale?
If you took the Rose Bowl out of it, which is hard to do, it would have been the Cotton Bowl, but, I mean, the Rose Bowl's the Rose Bowl.
Yeah. Cotton Bowl was sweet. Yeah. Getting out of there was a nightmare.
Same with the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, Bruce got lost in the State Fair.
Yeah, an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah, the Cotton Bowl.
Can I ride some rides?
He did have a corn dog. He had corn dog.
He did.
He held on to that. Bruce, we appreciate that. I appreciate you, Bruce.
It looks like a nice corn dog.
It was okay. I mean, it was good. Yeah, it was good.
Didn't you lick it?
Walked. I mean, the whole state of Texas.
He thought he was never going to eat again.
That thing took a trip around the state.
Yeah,
of Texas.
I did have to touch it with a thumb for sure to keep it just locked and loaded through the crowd. So.
We appreciate your sacrifice. Getting out of there was the worst place we've ever had to get out of.
Pasadena. Remember getting out of Pasadena?
No, but
that wasn't bad because we had the thing. I mean, if we would have had to wait in the
we had to walk 2 miles out of the Cotton Bowl.
Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Cotton Bowl was the worst. And then we got caught up in the traffic.
And then we were sitting there, yes.
Because remember, had to get to Fast Lane in Indianapolis that night.
That's right.
And almost didn't make it.
Yeah.
Because of the traffic and everything. Game's supposed to be in the afternoon. We got nothing but time. Flights this long, all good, should be good. Didn't account for the 2 hours of getting out of the Cotton Bowl.
No.
But we're lucky to be there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What a joke, what we just talked about.
So
we're at all those places.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a Rose right over there.
Yeah, from the last game that Saban ever coached. And Michigan dominant in overtime. I mean, what a time, dude. Rose Bowl was fucking sweet.
Rose Bowl was sick.
All right, let's go to the next question here from hashtag Ask the Program. This is Mikey Cock. Mike Cock. We get it.
Classic.
Hashtag Ask the Program. Who has a better chance at getting to the NFC Championship? The brand new Lions or Jordan Love and the Packers? Ty, what are your thoughts?
I mean, it's Packers. Layup. Lions had their season last year. They choked. It's just not their time anymore, unfortunately.
They had a time. Well, when was it?
It was last year.
1 year.
1 year. That's all you get. That's all you get. And it pains me because they got a couple Iowa guys on the team. I don't like saying that, but it's the Packers' year.
Foxy, you agree with that?
No, I completely disagree with that. Last
Your
year,
window's over, they said.
No. I actually think that was Jordan Love's window. Jordan Love's window is over, and the Lions were clearly the best team in the NFL. They probably should have won the Super Bowl. Ties right there. So, yeah, they'll be back. They just got to stay healthy, just like they did last year. MCDC and the boys are pissed off, so they're coming for that Super Bowl.
They had to add one more chip for those Lions to bite.
Exactly. Well, and they changed the rules for MCDC, so now he can challenge a couple more things, and then that's the difference between a Super Bowl.
You're right. I forgot the Lions did change the stupid challenge limitation rotation rule that made no sense since the beginning. But we appreciate the Lions doing that for all of us.
Yeah.
NFC North, a wagon.
Yeah, it
NFC
is.
North is a wagon. AJ, you think Packers are back all the way? Jack? Zach?
Yeah, I mean, the Lions are a great team. We know that. Lions are legit now, but no, it's the Packers, no doubt. They brought in Jeff Halfway as the D coordinator.
Yep.
You have the youngest team in the NFL, and your quarterback's playing at an elite level. I think the future is bright.
Oh, no, Lions are dead.
No, the key with the Lions offseason that everyone's forgetting, we kept Ben Johnson, the best offensive coordinator in the league, and then we also kept Aaron Glenn. So they're just fine.
A lot of continuity over there.
Added to the O-line when they lost O-line.
Yep.
I think the biggest loss is CJ.
Attitude.
I'll take the Lions.
Yeah.
I like the Lions.
I'll take the Lions. Oh, I'm definitely taking the Lions.
Jordan Love is the guy.
Oh, yeah. He'd take the Lions. That's
Strictly MCDC being the factor. That just because of him.
I wish we could have shook the hand of Goody down at the annual league meetings. No, hey, I apologize.
Next year.
I was pretty
Hand
loud.
up.
But now, hey, you're a guy.
Do you guys still have A.J. Dillon on the team?
Yeah, he came back.
Yeah, it was more of like a ceremonial, like, hey, we'll give you like $150 a game. Probably not going to give you the ball much.
That's not what it was. That's not what it was.
No, pretty much. You're going to draft a guy in the draft.
You guys lost Aaron Jones?
Yep. Let him go.
But
who'd you bring in?
Josh Jacobs.
Oh, I forgot about the Josh Jacobs.
But you lost Bakhtiari.
That's huge.
I mean, he hasn't played, I played for the Packers more recently than Bakhtiari has, so,
What's your problem?
I'm just saying, let's not act like losing Bakhtiari is the end-all be-all.
added Xavier McKinney.
Yeah, he's
on
pretty good.
Defense. He's
pretty good.
Yeah.
Probably going to draft Cooper DeJean. He's pretty good.
Oh, they're going to draft Cooper DeJean?
Hey, a lot of mocks.
Definitely.
I actually think the Lions are going to draft
Lions might
Cooper
get to him
DeJean.
first.
The mocks are Colts and Packers for Cooper DeJean.
Come on, buddy. Come
He'd
on.
be perfect in Indiana.
Oh, my. Green Bay as well. Devontae Adams was talking about that. Let's go to another question, shall we? From around X Kyle Seitz at Aim Don Seitz. Hashtag Ask the Program. Who are everyone's favorite players to watch growing up? The one that made you fall in love with the game. Mine was Jamal Charles. Shout out to Jamal Charles, obviously Toad and Rock. I was a Randy Moss fan. Myself, Deion Sanders, primetime. I enjoyed the characters, but in Pittsburgh, obviously, Slash did his thing, and the wheels on the bus went round and round, round and round, round and round. A lot of greats. The NFL has been littered with personalities and charisma, which is what I was drawn to. I assume you like the guys that were just super hard-nosed. A.J. Hawk, is that who you looked up to?
I mean, I liked all different guys, different positions. I mean, Bernie Kosar, I didn't really get to see him play much, but I was a fan of Bernie. Zach Thomas was the linebacker I loved growing up and always. I don't want to say growing up because I played against Zach when he was in Miami. But yeah, he was definitely my guy defensively.
How about UConn, man?
Mine were actually Urlacher and that guy.
A.J. Hawk?
Yeah, my best friend's got a A.J. Hawk fathead in his basement, actually. Patriots fan.
One of the ones that go on the wall.
Bingo. Yeah, one of the life-size ones. We all loved Hawker and Brian Urlacher.
Hawker, we were wondering this earlier. I know you weren't a shit talker, except for to your coach, who you told to go fuck off after sacking players. Did people talk shit to you? Because Travis told this story about Travis Kelsey on New Heights Pod, told a story about talking shit to Debo, talking to James Harrison, and then like a couple quarters pass, and then blindside ear hole. See you later. I remember what you said about me. You being like a quiet kind of serial killer like.
Yeah.
Was there anybody that talked shit to you, and then like a couple quarters later, maybe a couple weeks later, you get them again, you kind of got your revenge? Or was everybody quiet to AJ Hawk because you look like you were an actual psychopath on the field?
I mean, I don't recall guys like saying a whole lot because I think they knew too. Like I didn't have anything to come back. I would just laugh. Like when dudes would mess with me or whatever. I realized when I watched back a mic'd up situation I had, the PR guy was telling me, he was like, "What did you do?" Like every time someone would try to push me later, or whatever, I would just laugh at him for some reason. I guess that was my like default. So I don't have any good comebacks. I never did. So I didn't really.
So you never had any. There was no beefs on the field. It was just I got to do a job out here.
No real beefs or whatever. Like there's always things where people feel like you're pushing off the guy to get up, or you're roughhousing around the pile at the end. Those things, but never anything serious.
You said that at the Oklahoma-Texas game that Oklahoma was the alphas of this game thus far, because getting up off the pile, they were the ones doing a little bit more pressing on Texas's back, a little bit extra stuff at the end. Were you the guy doing that, and that's why people didn't love it, or?
Maybe at times, and you try to. Sometimes you make a tackle and you teach your guys to try to do the old teabagger, and you come up over the top of them when you're getting up, stuff like that.
Nice.
But usually they don't even notice till later in film, so you're good.
But you were a get up on top of a guy. Excuse me. I was the one that tackled you.
If it present, just little things like that. That's all gamesmanship, because he's got to use extra energy. He's gonna get pissed at me. I'm definitely not helping him up. Obviously, a guy in the other team, but I'm gonna help my teammates up and then try to shield the other guys from getting up.
Yeah, of course. These guys helping the other team up. What are we doing?
Love that.
We need them to, waste more.
There's like science behind it. You use like 20% less energy if someone helps you up or whatever. So why would it ever help the opponent up?
Never. You want them weak.
That's right.
Always.
I want to break you down.
Like Shinzu.
You see this forehead?
R.I.P.
I can't believe Shinzu's so dead.
Sucks.
So dead.
On this
so
Friday.
dead.
So
Wait, did he die?
I don't know how it works.
A.D.?
No. He was BD, dude.
BC.
Yeah, he was
BC.
thousands of years.
You could say BD.
But also BD.
Yeah, he was super BC. He was super duper BC.
Way back.
I would assume so BC that the AD people don't believe in how deep the BC was.
Probably.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Because there's different ages of Earth depending upon who you talk to.
Sure.
Yep.
It's just crazy to think that none of us know shit about fuck, seemingly.
Yeah, that was the
We don't even know how old the place is. No, yeah, we do know. It's millions of years old.
Carbon dating says.
Okay.
Now they're saying 26 billion.
Okay, billions of years, of course. Of course. And we're affecting it more than anybody in the history of 26 billion years.
Wow.
Let's remember that.
Well, the dinosaurs.
They were pooping and farting all over the place. I wonder what they were doing.
That's why an asteroid.
Think about how much farts. Oh, my. The
Look what they're
T-Rexes.
eating, too. Oh, they're farting all over.
Or they eat.
Yeah.
They're eating all the vegetables.
Yeah, just leaves.
Yeah, terribles for you. Terrible.
Berries.
And let alone what the water, the bacteria in the water.
Geez,
They're pooping that, farting that
There's
out.
some people that believe those weren't even real as dinosaurs.
What's that?
There's a lot of people who think dinosaurs weren't a real creation.
Oh, my gosh. What do we know?
It's big museum, guys. Come on.
We get it.
Can believe that.
Because what would the museums put on display if they didn't find a new dinosaur every 20 years?
Hey, come look at this poop we found
I mean,
20,000 years ago.
Some people just build their own, though.
I'd
Like
look at
Jay-Z has a cool museum in Brooklyn.
Does he?
Allegedly, I mean.
What's in there?
I don't know. People are saying.
Is Jay-Z in there? Because, I saw 50 Cent say, where's
It's on a milk carton.
Where is Jay-Z?
Maybe.
Hey, I saw Diddy coming out of a Topgolf. Was that real?
I saw him getting a barber cut in the back of a plane. There's a lot of. I saw a lot of. Saw him in a club a couple times. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. What the hell is going on
On
over
IG
there?
Live.
Speaking of, we got a question. Hashtag Ask the Program. Is AJ Hawk okay? He's been really quiet since the whole Diddy thing.
Oh.
That's a good
How'd
question, Nico.
this one make it through?
That's a great question, Nico. You have been awfully quiet.
Yeah, and then last week you were off when this all broke.
Oh.
You're on an island.
And he keeps bringing it up.
Oh. You're a
So,
number
like,
5
maybe the-
overall pick.
Am I thinking, is this like the more obvious, the less obvious? Every time I bring it up, you guys, whoa, like you got something to hide.
Yeah, but
So
I
don't
heard
know.
you're doing the
What's
show.
deal?
I know it's the same backdrop there, but I heard you're doing this from a non-extradition country. Right?
Yeah,
Sure.
that's
Antigua,
not
yeah.
Ohio.
Surprised you're on the show after what you said yesterday, AJ.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Antigua's my
stuff.
spot.
I thought Ohio was
Anyways,
non-extradition.
there's a chance he's been quiet though, quieter than normal,
Yeah.
because he's got a whole new.
Yeah.
Yep, early whites.
Whole new set of chicklets.
Teeth get whole new mouth, pretty much. Yeah.
Hey, they look good, dude. Teeth look good. You need to show them off more. You've been trying to hide them too much. We think personally.
I'm trying to get used to having new teeth too. Yeah, at the same time.
So we're okay. Apple, we're going in.
Oh yeah, I can eat everything, do everything. Yeah, everything's good.
Doesn't feel loose at all. Feels pretty sturdy.
No, it's definitely not loose.
What do they use?
no.
Quickcrete?
Yeah. What is it?
Something serious. Yeah,
Rubber
some
cement?
chemicals.
So you didn't pay attention to anything. You said just give me a whole new grill.
Oh no, I paid attention. Yeah, I don't know what the terms are. I don't know what they use.
So is it glued on, drilled in? What is it?
It's like everything. Yeah, they build them, they made them right there, and then they fit them up over your teeth that you already have, and they use weird chemicals that are like, yeah.
Whoa.
They won't come off. They're not falling off.
Super sensitive?
No, not now. Before it was because I had teeth broken off because of how my bite is and all this stuff. It's a whole process.
Your face was a little bit swollen. Is that
It
because
was.
they were
All
beating
up
up
in here.
your? Yeah. So why is that?
It's because they shot up. They gave me 15 shots to what
Numb?
lidocaine or whatever it does to numb up my whole face, and my whole face was like blocked for like a day almost.
So the good news is for everybody, he went and got his WWE 2K scans.
Yeah.
When his face was the most swollen it's ever
did.
been. But the
You're
new
right.
teeth got in.
Oh yeah.
The new teeth got in.
I had to make like faces and stuff. Yeah, you're right. And the camera guy. Yeah.
How many elephants had to die for your teeth?
That's a good question.
That would-
How much
I don't
porcelain
think it's
do we think?
ivory. It's not ivory.
Well,
Looks like
actually,
ivory.
I mean,
It's not.
Sure.
But that'd be. Maybe that's why it's so expensive. I don't know.
Hey, they look
Gotta
good.
check it out.
They look good.
Got a
They're
baby
good.
hawker.
Hell yeah.
Proud of you, Hawker. All right,
you
last
guys.
question here from hashtag Ask the Program. Did you see what The Rock did to Cody on Monday? Great question, Andrew.
Oh no.
That's a great question. We've been asking the same damn thing.
Yeah.
And we
Everybody.
did see.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else got to see what happened afterwards.
Oh my God!
see a
If you
little extra.
haven't,
You better go look.
check it out.
The
Now,
Rock,
brother.
Rock posted on what happened after, one off air.
I didn't see that.
Oh,
Oh, go look, brother.
Was it X-rated? What
hey,
happened?
Sal,
Oh,
turn
yeah.
that. Go back to the beginning.
Now you stay down. Fuck that. Clear, guys. Fuck that. You shut your mouth. Clear my ass. How did that feel? Did that feel good? What, just because the show's over, that doesn't mean that this shit stops. The Rock doesn't give a fuck. Huh? You should cry. You should cry, boy. Look at that blood. Now, look at this blood. Yes.
Yes.
Illegal. It's got to be illegal.
Show is over and then it stops. Fuck that. Your script. Fuck that.
Yes.
Wow. That would hurt bad.
This is what happens, boy, when you fuck with the final. Come in here, cameraman. Look at that face. Look at that. Huh? Now, Mama Rose. Mama Rose. This is for you. That's for you.
Spit.
See you at WrestleMania.
Thank you, Final Boss.
Thank you, Final
Love you, final boss.
I love Cody too, but he took something from the Final Boss.
He did.
This is supposed
We
to be.
checked on him.
Huh?
Is Cody okay? Has anyone checked on him? Have we seen him since that moment?
This ain't all fun and games.
That's a good question. I
Come
do
on,
not
Al.
know.
Hopefully tonight.
Tonight, yeah. I hope
Oh,
we
yeah.
see the American Nightmare.
I'm praying for it.
He'll be on the show 1 week from today.
That's right.
If he survives
Yeah.
that long.
Michael Cole is like, I can't wait to see your biased journalism whenever Cody the American Nightmare comes onto the show because what you guys have always done to Roman and The Rock. You guys are biased journalists. Michael Cole's guest hosting from WrestleMania. Our show.
Is he really?
Our show.
Oh,
Son of a bitch.
I love Michael Cole, man. I tell you what, I don't know if I told you or not, but we got the earpieces when we were at the deal. You could absolutely sell a show of just you and Michael Cole during commercial breaks and during when you're not on the air. Absolutely. Like they're ranching. Cole, they're ranching. Like everything you did on there is all. I saw the video too of you guys. When was it? The desk cam of you guys when you
Becky.
said the Puma situation. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All of that. The whole you guys had 3 hours straight of awesome stuff like that.
Well, we appreciate that. Yeah, it is a good time. It is a good time because, when TV decides to go to commercial, fuck that.
Yeah.
Amen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cameraman, fucking come here.
That's right.
That's a superstar, okay? We just watched what a real superstar is.
Oh, what is it? What are you saying?
The Rock is a superstar.
Who is
A
it?
real one.
Yeah, but who are you?
not?
Yeah,
Who's not a real
There's a
one?
Shout
lot.
out.
There's a lot. I mean, we don't have enough time for me to rattle off all the names.
I got one. Austin Theory.
What is he's superstar?
No,
Yeah, he
JD
is.
McDonough.
JD
nope.
McDuffie.
McDougan. He's a
McDonough's
superstar.
over.
His
He
name's
is over.
McDonough.
He is
guy.
He is over.
McDonough.
If by over you mean no one in the crowd reacts either way to anything.
I didn't say that.
Yeah.
I didn't say that.
He's very over.
Actually, you know who's the
That's
most
not what I
over?
said.
there was a time the music they
Not what I
didn't
said.
they didn't know it was him.
This guy's the most over of all time.
This guy, Yeet. That's Jay Uso.
Oh, did I just buy a shirt yesterday? Yeah.
Yeet.
Yeah, with the tropical, what's palm trees? That's what they're called.
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
a sweet
You got
t-shirt.
you got the DIY one too, right? With Joey Gargano and
Yes.
Tommaso Gumby.
His name's Johnny Gargano.
You mean Johnny Wrestling? You son of a bitch.
God damn it! I was so close.
Johnny
God
Wrestling.
damn it.
I love Johnny Gargano.
Me too.
And I love Tommaso Ciampa.
Yes.
And they've been teaming up with Awesome Truth, which we don't even have to.
No.
Nope.
Their name describes what they are.
Exactly. was standing next to Champa. It was like
Spider-Man. I did see Champa in the back.
Yeah.
It's good time.
Champa said he was like, hey, I actually grew up in foster care in Victoria, Canada.
Champa did not say that.
He said, I didn't need a body double today. What are you doing here?
Let's get out of here. You guys.
Are we shooting a scene? Why's my body double here?
What you guys have been doing right now is just despicable. We're on the road to WrestleMania.
Hell yeah.
I
1 week,
complimented-
brother.
Complimented Rock. I complimented Uso.
About mommy. You didn't say anything about mommy.
I love mommy.
Well,
isolate that.
Isolate.
ISO, can we get ISO?
ISO that.
Can we get a cut on that? Boys, great work this week. It was a good week.
Good week.
Yeah.
Great week.
Full week. We did a lot this week.
Yeah, it was.
It was 2 weeks, actually.
It felt like it was 2 weeks. Down there in Orlando in that conference room. Need to do that 2 days next year.
2 days.
Absolutely.
We're learning.
So we could see the altercations.
And what else did we?
Party.
Well, those didn't happen. Woody Johnson came out and said, "Carry the hell on," like he's Kendrick Perkins.
Sure, Woody.
Need to not do show first 2 days of March Madness.
Correct.
I've also learned that.
We learned that. All right, we figured it out.
Yeah.
Boom.
Figure it out.
And we learned what everything is about this whole Easter gimmick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited about that.
Not a
Good to
gimmick.
clear that up. Good to clear it up.
Not a gimmick. Early morning, though, is when he rose.
Before dawn.
Coming up on his.
Guys will be,
his
you'll be
dad.
doing Easter egg hunts.
A little bit here.
What time did he die?
I believe it's like 3:17, maybe something like that.
Oh, man, we got to get off air before that.
Probably 3
I don't know if time was really invented yet.
They had digital or analog back then?
What are you talking about, dude?
Pocket watch. Are you nuts?
They had like the sun. Yeah,
The sundial.
Sundial.
When was the sundial invented? Do we know?
When the sun started?
Long time ago.
What do we think this is?
When did the sun start?
Oh, my God. Oh, is this chicken or egg situation? When fucking
I'm just
Earth
asking
started, pal.
questions.
1500
I don't know.
BC was the first sundial. So, yeah, I think they were telling time.
Okay, when Jesus was being born in a stable.
Yeah.
I'm disgusted by everything that happened today. But also, I'm enthusiastic about what we've learned.
You're just learning, exactly. Getting better.
Every day.
That's part of it.
When you're hunting for those eggs, Con Man, what are you going to think about?
Man, probably all the sins Jesus died for us, and how to live your life in the image of Christ. Because, like Dan Orlovsky said, if you live that way, you're all good in His
Hell yeah,
book.
brother.
Okay.
Is that what he said?
Mm-hmm. That's how I took it.
That's all that matters.
And plus, I am also pulling a little from the John Harbaugh card, his business card, because in there he also said,
Jim.
Fucking mother, Jim and John and Jim.
And Joe
Joey
and John.
Joe and John and all these J's, man. It's confusing. Jesus.
Well, there's only one J this weekend.
Amen. That's what I'm going to be thinking about.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. And probably a little Bill Belichick, throw him in there.
Okay.
That's a 2 B's.
Yeah. Just, am I picking these up right? Is this how you're supposed to? Again, just trying to get better.
Ty, I hope you have a great Easter.
Hey, you too.
When's the thing? Did we miss the...
Ash Wednesday?
Yeah, we missed it.
40 days ago.
Oh, this is the end of it.
Start of Lent. Bingo. Yeah.
Okay. So we're ending the 40 days of like no chocolate.
Bingo. Yes.
That whole thing.
Yeah. So shout out to all my brothers and sisters who held out this year, gave up something.
Way to go. Good discipline. What'd you give up?
Nothing. I don't do that anymore.
What was that?
What?
What's that all about?
Giving up fucking chocolate's gonna make me a great guy. No, it's not. That's something parents do to brainwash their kids.
Program.
Whoa. Let's not talk brainwashing religion, this whole thing.
Well, I'm not talking about the religion aspect. I'm just saying, like, guess what? You don't need to give up, like, okay, I want to have McDonald's all Lent. You don't have to do that. Just be a good person. That works too.
Yeah, but how about you display a little bit of discipline? Like
I did. I wasn't drinking during the weeks, unless we had special occasions. On special occasions, on special occasions, I would.
Yeah, you're right. Universe ball here.
Exactly.
For Easter.
Yeah.
What does it mean?
Means he's going to rise.
It's going to be a great...
No, I'm not putting that
You
pressure
better make
on
this
him.
one. You better make this one.
Great Easter. Great Easter.
It's going to be a great Easter.
Make it.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great Easter.
Yep.
Nice.
Oh, that was right on. Right on.
Shit.
That was the cleanest brick we've ever had.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
perfect.
but it was good.
Oh, my.
Oh, no.
For a good Easter. Holy ball.
You got it.
Today was potentially going to be called Holy Friday.
Mm-hmm.
or God's Friday,
Mm-hmm.
but we landed on Good Friday.
Yeah.
Because it's a good thing that somebody chose to die for our sins.
Bingo. Thank you.
And that's good.
Amen.
Yeah, that's
Amen.
right.
For a good Easter.
Good. Back to front.
I don't want this to be a case. I don't want this to be a case.
I was gonna say.
Get Perk back in here. He'll make it.
3 crosses, 3 tries.
How about this?
Bingo.
I don't mind that. We learned that today. 33 people
Okay, yeah.
will win $500.
Oh, $333 maybe.
We're doing the 33 with
Three people,
Okay, I was trying to lower the
$333.
number.
How about the spirit of giving?
Yeah.
And
That's Christmas. That's
Christmas.
That's not this one.
but if it wasn't for that one, this one doesn't happen. That seems to get forgotten about a little bit because everybody's born, but only one man comes back.
You gave away 33 Reese's eggs.
Giant ones, so big Reese's.
I like those big ones. I'll eat them too, and I'll feel really accomplished whenever I finish it out.
Bingo.
One sitting, those big ones.
Like
Fork and a knife.
The actual like 6-pack ones.
No.
or-
No.
No, like the
egg-
big.
Oh, like
the
a
egg-
massive
big-
egg.
Yeah, I'll break that fucker in half, and I'm going from one side, and the next thing you know, that thing's gone.
I bought about 5 of the 6-pack ones, like the actual size that go in there. Oh,
Gone.
I ate about 12 of them last night.
Yeah.
Which you just can't be doing.
I
But-
had 6 last night
Yeah,
as well.
exactly. It's just yikes. But they are so damn good.
Wife came back she went out to grab something from living room. She's been putting together, Easter baskets and everything.
Yeah.
She comes back to the room. She goes, "I got something for you." It was 6 of those. I'm like, "Well, these are gone."
Yeah.
Happy Easter to me.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
Happy. What am I supposed to save these? Those are the greatest.
Oh, the best.
The Easter egg.
I think the egg's the best.
It's the best version.
I think so too.
They've just been trying to remake the egg for different holidays. Actually, if you
Christmas
look.
tree's a
The
close
tree, I was
second.
gonna say the tree is very close.
They
Tree
tried-
is the egg just with a little.
Yeah.
Yeah, little edges.
Yeah,
tried
they
to
got
do
that
it with
shape down.
Valentine's Day. They look like ball sacks.
It did.
Oh yeah, the hearts.
Yep.
Heart's going to be tough. That's the big one. The big one is the heart.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
The big one is.
That's
the
what
thing.
they need to-
But the Reese egg is properly proportioned.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right amount of chocolate, right amount of peanut butter.
It's the final boss.
Always, it is the final boss.
Truly.
Final boss.
And that's what happens when you fuck with the Reese's egg.
That's right. And they're always soft, aren't? It feels like
Yeah.
they're always like
Always.
perfect.
Always.
It's impossible.
No matter
to
what.
They never get hard.
And if they're starting to, get like a little too soft, you just throw those fuckers in the fridge for,
Freezer.
or the freezer. Yeah.
Couple minutes.
Fridge or freezer.
Yeah.
Whew. Yeah, 33 winners, $500.
Hell
Let's
yeah.
go.
Sorry about it. Happy Easter to you, though.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
We tried, didn't we?
Yeah,
Yes,
we did.
It was a good Friday, not a great Friday, but it's not about that. It's about the mindset going into the weekend.
Boom.
We got 4 games today for the Sweet 16.
Yep.
Gump, any of those we like? Any of those we want to put? Maybe watch a little closer.
I love Tennessee tonight.
Okay.
Yep.
It's the best game for sure.
Houston Duke should be very good as well.
Okay. Filopovich.
Yep. Nailed it.
Filipowski?
Filopovich.
Everybody seems to be on Duke,
Filopovich.
but I don't see it. I like that Houston team. They got into foul trouble last game. I don't think that'll happen again.
Well, Filipovich is going to come out.
Fuck out.
There we go.
Guns
There we
blazing.
go.
Yeah, dominate.
All right. We got that. We got golf this weekend, I assume?
Not really.
Nobody's
Yeah.
watching.
Golf
Jeff win again.
Scotty, Scotty.
Scotty's playing, right?
Scotty's like minus 120 right now.
If Scotty's playing, I'll check it out.
No one else is, but Scotty's dominating you.
He's got one of those beards that looks like he's dying it, but it's actually just so strong.
Shaved it.
He actually
Shaved.
What?
Yeah, he looks terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Why'd he do that? He got a jawline, the whole thing.
Massive mistake. I'm out on him now.
Is it?
Yes.
I think so.
It's a massive mistake.
Wow.
You look great. Just one.
Actually, Tony Finau is leading right now. Scotty.
Oh, I like Tony. Tony's got that little swing.
Scotty's in second.
Well, Scotty doesn't know that his beard got shaved. Now he
Now he
stinks
looks like
at golf
fucking
again.
faster.
He had a jawline, then he said, I don't want that thing coming off my head. 33 people, $500.
Yep.
It's not meant to be.
You gonna huck this thing in one of the...
No. Baseball was the other day.
No, they still play.
Are they still playing?
Oh, loaded with games. This
It was
weekend.
over.
Every day.
If only.
Loaded with games.
What's that?
Bunch of
Reds in
baseball
first
games
place.
this weekend, yeah.
Baseball's happening?
Yeah, you bet. What are you talking about? Buccos won last night. You should be fucking all in.
O'Neal
until
Cruz,
they
bomb.
Undefeated.
Yeah.
Undefeated Buccos. Just like I said it would.
Chapman came in.
He did.
All right. We're out of here. See you all. Have a great weekend. You know, the Pittsburgh Pirates got the hundo, boys.
A couple of them. A few of them.
That's what we do.
Honk, 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 honk.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how they
Hundo.
call him, the hundo. One boob.
What?
80085.
Yep.
Turn that thing upside down.
TI 83. What was that?
Yep.
89. Let's get out of here.
89.
All right. This show can really get terrible quick, can't it?
Yep.
That's really part of our charm.
Yeah.
This fucker can turn right into a shit show on the drop of a dime.
Yeah, it can.
And we'll attempt to do that next week. We can't wait for it. We appreciate you all so much. Thank you for allowing us to do this for a living. We hope you have a great Easter weekend. Be kind to each other. You know what I mean? Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. We're in this thing together. Team on me, team on three. 1, 2, 3.
Team.
Goodbye.